Year's Eve is really the holiday, but a lot of people probably won't be able to come on. So it's probably the
Well,
last boom for the year.
but no, well, we could still do New Year's. We're live, by the way. We could still do New Year's Day. I don't know. Let me look at the thing. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, the chances of us doing it on Christmas Day. But it's Christmas Day evening. I mean, we could do one. We could go ho ho ho. I mean, I don't know. It really depends on who can make it. I
Yeah,
might, maybe I'll just host it by myself.
there you go.
Yeah.
Solo boom.
Yeah, I can get a Santa hat on and everything and be go ho ho ho. Here we are. But yeah,
I'm,
but Christmas Day evening, that's fine. Oh wow, how about this? How about Christmas Day evening? Um, for the first Alaboom of 2020, we do our predictions or something like that.
that's possible. Yeah, the kids should be pretty wiped out after Christmas, as long as the wife doesn't want to I don't have to set up electronics and stuff. I should be free,
Yeah.
especially if we do it late, like 10, 11 o'clock. I'll see.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Maybe,
I'll let you know on Tuesday. It all depends on what we're doing.
maybe on Christmas Day episode, they can just tune in and watch me, you, and Keith and VR.
Heck, we could totally do that. You can set up, if you've got a capture card, you can totally capture all of our footage.
Oh well, that's something to think about.
Mm.
Oh, what if we did that with the like the starship captain thing?
Oh, Bridge Commander? Yeah, actually, that post I went was to let you know. I know you don't have it yet, but if you can set up your Oculus account, Bridge Commander's on sale for $9, normally 30.
Can I set it up without one right now, or
I believe? Well, no. Well, yeah, I think you can still sign up for an Oculus account, and if you, I don't know if you've already wrapped it, but the numbers you need in order to set it up are probably on the box, on the barcode, like the product ID and stuff. But I think the sale will probably last through Christmas. I mean, I would be crazy for them not to, since it's going to be a hot button gift. But yeah, there's some really good sales on a lot of good multiplayer games. I just bought like $30 worth of games today, and there's some really good ones for some of them are free, some of them are like $15 games that they're just offering for free for the holidays, since a lot of people are getting these sets for gifts. But like Star Trek Bridge Commander is like 60% off. There's a bunch of other ones that were good. I can go through. I kind of gave you the list of the stuff I've got, but there's a lot of other stuff too that's really good. So I spent about 4 hours playing VR today. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, New Year's Day Eve, we could totally do prediction show and resolution show and all that of what's everyone's resolution, what are our predictions for 2020.
Should we also New Year's Day also be our reactions to the new Star Wars movie? Give people 2 weeks to see it before we
I think that's fair.
I'm
I'm seeing it this Friday, but yeah, if we don't do a boom on Christmas Day for whatever reason, family stuff, people just can't make it, then that definitely gives us 2 weeks for everyone else to see it, which means we could do reactions and then Star Wars fan actions on New Year's Day Eve. Which may be better. I mean, I think it's going to be less likely we do one on Christmas Day, as some people will be traveling. Some people have family in town. They won't be able to break away. But giving that extra week, then we can definitely do reactions to Star Wars on New Year's Day Eve, which should be a lot cleaner, especially since I'm on vacation for 3 more days after that. So
perfect.
I know I can do it. I can't commit to Christmas Day Eve, but I can definitely commit to New Year's Day Eve because we're not going anywhere. So, but yeah, I'm that. I would totally love to do a Star Wars reaction show as well as a prediction show. I think that'd be cool.
Maybe I'll come up with a series of questions that we can ask.
Sure.
So my wife and I got invited to a Roaring Twenties themed New Year's Eve party, and we've never been to anything like that ever.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. So, my wife's like, "Oh, it's like," and they're hold on a second. I got a dog outside once again.
Lance will be too trash to do a show on New Year's Day Eve, is what I'm basically hearing here. So, for all of you at home, if you were not on, you'll know why.
What now?
I said, well, with that new knowledge, I said Lance will be too trashed to do a New Year's Day show. So if we're not
No,
on,
no,
all
no,
of you
no,
just
no.
heard why.
I'm not the big drinker guy
Yeah,
anymore,
I'm not
really.
either, but
I mean, nothing like I think that's part of growing up, right?
oh,
You know?
sure. I
Yeah.
was a huge drinker in my 20s and early 30s, and I got to like 35, it slowed down a lot and became
Yep.
just weekend drinker. And then when I got to like 38, it became like a only when my friends are around drinker, social drinker. And then by the time I got to 42, 43, it was like I was drinking like a 6 pack a year. And now I don't even touch the stuff. And it's not like for any reason. I'm not alcoholic or have any issues with it. It's just like I've got the same 12 beers in my mini fridge that I had from my last get together like 2 months ago. I just don't have the urge to just grab and drink a beer. It's the last thing on my list. You know, I'll have a
Yeah.
glass of wine with my wife every once in a while on a date night, but other than that,
I find it's like for me it's like the I had people over at my house. We played poker for like
mhm.
4 or 5 hours, and I had I had a couple of just some whiskey on the rocks. Like somebody bought me a nice glass of nice bottle of bourbon, and so I was just like, okay, fine, I can, and I'll just sip on this, and that's kind of like gone are the days of the 75-cent beer night
Yeah,
at the tavern playing
that doesn't even
pool
sound
and
good to me. Sounds like a night of me getting sick is what that sounds like. I am
yeah.
not. I am a lightweight, as it is called.
Well, and that's the other thing too. It's like I still have friends, and admittedly they're single, but I mean I still have friends that are still hey, let's
pounding
go,
brews every weekend.
yeah, let's go to the bar and watch the game, and I'm like, okay, and I'll go to like a bar that has like they have a nice menu, and I'll order like I'll order like some food, and and I'll just get a glass of water, and in the same period of time I'll watch them pound down 3 double Bloody Marys and three 32-ounce beers, and I'm just like, let's see, my tab is $16.
And there's
Yours is
55.
$85,
Yeah,
because
yeah, I'm
you're
that same guy.
hammering away. I'm
I
like,
just don't have the desire anymore. I don't want to waste the money when I go out. I don't get the excitement out of the buzz anymore. It's just to me, it's just not working. I guess part of it is when I was in between UPS and getting into the game industry, one of the jobs that I held as I was still trying to work my way in was working for a DUI attorney. So I saw how expensive it was if you fuck up. and
mm,
and I saw a lot of people just like coming in that just like repeat customers, like guys that have been through 2 or 3 DUIs. Thankfully, none of them did any major damage other than like take out a mailbox or hit a parked car or something. But seeing that just kind of like, holy crap, man, this is, if you let that crap get out of hand, it can really wreck your life. And it was like, it's not worth it to me. I get more enjoyment out of video games and good food than I do drinking anymore. So
yeah,
that's just comes with age, I guess. I'm an old fart.
but no, the only reason I was bringing that up is because like I was like, okay, so 1920s theme
Prohibition.
thing. Well, yeah, but no, so like normally people would be like, oh, we're gonna wear like the standard like at 1920s gangster or
Zoot suit or something like
yeah.
that.
No, I ordered a 1920s classics, the swimming suits, the giant one piece with the
Oh, you had
stripes.
better damn well post a picture of that. I think everybody here will agree they would like to see that. Wow.
Yep. So I
That's
was
going to
like,
be something. Something
I
special
decided
right
to
there.
go
Something special.
go against type, I guess. So
Hmm.
that'll be fun.
Yeah, that will be funny.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, I don't know. I think my wife is gonna go standard, dress and that kind of action going on. But I will be what I am, and
Hmm.
that is against the grain. I remember years and years and years ago in college. I, not gonna go, but I was involved in some clubs in college, like official ones through school and stuff like that. And then
Or like debate club or gaming
yeah,
club and stuff like that.
like yeah, and so there was one of the professors, they hosted a croquet day party, and they were just like, um they said that they had to for it you had to wear very light white clothes, and they showed pictures of like what people wore to these like croquet gatherings, if you will. And it was very you probably Google it or whatever. And I wore my black denim shorts and black t-shirt like on purpose. And I remember and they posted the guy would actually post pictures of each one, and they were like in the forensics club, the
Lance was conveniently never in any pictures.
No, I wasn't that one. The very one, and I'm right in the middle, just wearing and actually it was like a black Metallica metal up your ass t-shirt, and it was nice. but I actually reversed the shirt, so it was just black, so I was right in the middle.
Look at you being all PC and stuff.
Yeah, but I had but that was back when I was trying really, really hard to grow a evil goatee guy, so I had a little bit of wisp on my face, but I had even longer hair than I have now, and a lot more hair than I have now. It's as the hair is slowly but surely creeping up my forehead. So.
I've been fortunate to not have that problem so far.
Well, see, that's what the bandana's for. Well, I still have some. So I mean, it isn't like
I just got my hair cut. Normally, it was down to here before I got my hair cut. I'm very fortunate. Going bald is not an issue for me. I'm a very hairy Italian, so that's the one thing I don't have to worry about. Gray, on the other hand, there's definitely. I know you can't see it in the camera very much, but there's definitely a lot of gray over here.
I mean, I can show you guys pictures, and you can even go to like my very first videos, like. My beard is like dark brown, and it's all you can definitely go and watch some of my very first videos, and you're just
it's weird how some people are different though. Like I had a buddy in Florida who was like 28 and already salt pepper gray, like I worse than I am now at 46, and he was at 28 and he's had more gray hair than I'll probably ever have. Some people just get it super early, and some people can age really well too and don't get it at all. I'm not that fortunate.
It just it's one of those things, right?
Mm-hmm. It is. So what's new and exciting?
Nothing much. I got this sent to me. I got it today, so I'm gonna. This is the game that everybody's excited about as far as kind of party game kind of thing. I didn't play it at BGG-Con, but I heard everybody blathering about it and how amazing it was, and it has like a whole. I don't know if you know anything about it, but basically it has like this dial, and then one person they set there's a topic, and one person sets their dial to it, and the rest of the party has to place their side of the dial as close as possible. You can kind of see on the back here. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it or not because of the.
Oh yeah, I can see a little bit. Looks like a record.
Yeah. So here, hold on. Let me make sure. So okay. So yeah. So one person will set it over here, and then their team will try to decide. Oh well, they think depending upon that, where they'll put it, and if they can land in this chunk of space here, they'll get points. And so then it's just it's got a cool little toy aspect as far as that goes. And if you get in the middle, it's 4 points, and then as you branch out, you get less and less points. And of course, it's one of those things that it spurs the discussion of why would you put it there? That's ridiculous, So definitely just one of those fun things. Oh, now I gotta let Ivan in. Hold on.
So yeah, I got a Kickstarter email beginning of the week saying that In the Hall of the Mountain King was going to start fulfilling soon.
Sweet.
And then they said the first 300 shipped, and I wasn't expecting anything because I'm always at the end of fulfillment almost every campaign I've ever been in.
Same me.
And I got an email yesterday saying my package is shipped and will be here tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'll be at the Come On offices in Atlanta for our holiday Christmas party Friday. So I'm driving in Thursday to work in office and do some face-to-face meetings and stuff. So it figures it's going to show up while I'm gone. So at least when I get back Friday night, I'll have a I'll have a cool game. I wasn't expecting to get before Christmas. We'll actually be here before Christmas, so
That
I'm
is an
excited about that.
extremely good game. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, it is very fun.
yeah, I have not even played it yet, but they did such a great job with Endeavor that I was absolutely backing the next project, and that happened to be the next project. I did the Age of Expansion, and I did in the Hall of Mountain King, and I did the Kids Tabletop, which is kind of affiliated with Burn Island Games. I did their Rec Raiders too, and I've been happy with both Rec Raiders and Endeavor. So I can't wait for the expansion, and I can't wait to try in the Hall of Mountain King. I just wish it had came today, because then I could have took it with me to Atlanta, because my boss is also a big fan of them and Endeavor, and I think we'd have a lot of fun playing that. So I'll have to just save that for my next game day after Christmas.
So I made my post and I said that I was basically staying off of social media until I finally see.
I saw that.
Yeah. So and then a lot of people are saying I've seen friends post things along the lines of it's just like, oh, I'm sick and tired of hearing people complain about spoilers, blah blah blah. So I was going to actually broach this topic. I was hoping Mr. Richard Ham would be here because like we know what his opinion is. And for those of you who don't know what Richard Ham's opinion,
Grotto is here in chat. So is he waiting? Is he in the lobby?
No, he's not in the lobby. So.
I just saw him post something. Yeah, there he is up there right below Nathaniel Robinson. 10 p.m. Thursday night tickets. Oh, he's got tickets. Well, that's for tomorrow night. I don't know where he is.
Yeah,
he would be on in a bit. Richard said he would be on in a bit earlier, so I guess he'll pop.
Okay, well then I will wait patiently for him.
Why don't we talk about what we played this week while we're waiting for them to talk about spoilers? Then.
All right.
What have you played since the last boom?
Since the last boom, well, I did play D&D, which that's my every other weekend thing. So we played D&D. I am now firmly. So we've been running this campaign for about 2 years. I am now firmly in my I need to be running a game mentality.
Okay.
I've been working. I would love to know if anybody who's watching this either live or after the fact, if any of you are using World Anvil, which is a website that is supposed to help people create their D&D worlds and like keeps everything like online. And so you could, as long as you have like your phone or a laptop or wherever you are, like you can.
Is that like D&D Beyond kind of software, or is it something different?
I don't know. See, that's the whole thing. So there was a Humble Bundle that allowed you to get like 50 PDFs, different D&D PDFs, for $18. And I was just like, yeah, that's cool.
That seems like a good deal.
I'd like to say this about Humble Bundle really quick. I don't know if you've ever used Humble Bundle before.
I have not.
Okay, so Humble Bundle is the thing where it's like oh, in order to get like these games, like they'll even be like Steam games. It's just like, okay, get these 5 Steam games for a fraction of the cost. And the whole thing is that if you do it through them, you'll get the Steam keys, and the money goes to charity. That's the whole thing.
That's actually really nice. That's a better way to buy stuff.
Yeah, so it's like, but here's, as they say, the thing. So, well, no, it isn't a big but. It's just one of those things where it's like, oh, how much do you want to donate? And it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, I would like to, I want to do $18 or whatever, right? Like and you can do more, right? You and they actually like will list like there is like if you're somebody that would like, if you have like a some sort of a company or something, you could and then like if you say I'm going to give $1,000, it'll actually list like the top level of whoever donated. So you could use it to like both one advocate for your I just realized something. I'm jumping around, but John Edwards just said hi boomers, and I was just like, whatever boomer. And oh my gosh, we have to do Alaboom shirts, and then just say, it's like we can do a whatever boomer on it, and the Alaboom, and then I'll think about that. We gotta like make shirts, and then like we get shirts to people to watch this. But anyway, regardless, keep that in the back of your head. Let's think about that. Because the whole whatever boomer or whatever, they want to mock the boomer, the whatever. You know what I mean, right? You know what I mean.
Yes.
You see where I'm going with this.
No.
Anyway,
Go ahead.
okay. So, all right. Yeah. So then, okay. So here's the other thing. So, where was I? What was I talking about?
About the Humble Bundle.
Oh, Humble Bundle. Okay. So yeah. So the money goes to a charity, right? Great. That's awesome. Whatever. And then you can get a hold of the noises in the background are my two animals wrestling around. So I'm going to eventually tell them to stop. Hold on a second. One moment. I'm going to mute myself for the briefest of moments.
First time in history, Lance mutes himself. News at 11.
No, I have to put a little bass in my voice to get the dogs to break it up, and then go lay down, and then just you gotta like. So because they don't even really react to what you say, they just react to like the sound.
Oh, I know. I've got 2 dogs that love to wrestle and fight and play, which is great because it keeps them busy and burns energy and all that. But they get very loud when they do that, so we have to give them we usually give them the squirt with a water gun, and that stops them dead in their tracks. They don't like. One of my dogs hates water, and she'll just pipe up and go sit down if we hit her with the water gun.
Fair enough. All right. So as I was saying, but so you'll donate the oh, hey honey, you'll donate the money to the $18 or whatever, and but there's a thing. There's like these little draw arrows, I guess, or like I can't. What's when you grab something, you drag it back and forth like a
Scroll
slide
bar
or a slide or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get to that point, and it's just like it says, where do you want your money to go? Now, a lot of times it's like, oh, there's one of 3 charities. You can divvy it up between these 3 charities. You can, give it all to one. You can do any one of those many things. And one of the things is that there's also a slide for Humble Bundle as well, and it's set to actually give Humble Bundle some money, which is fine. They're giving a service. They're trying to do something for the charity.
And they got to keep the doors open, or else nobody gets any money.
Yeah, exactly. And you can make it so Humble Bundle gets nothing. You can scroll down. I just always thought it was kind of skeezy how they they kind of hid their paywall behind this little slide that normally it's like you got to click on a button to actually expand that portion to actually see the slides and where the money's going to go.
That does sound a little. Yeah, I can see why you'd feel that way, but it could also just be bad web design. I mean, I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt because they are trying to raise money for charity while they also keep their doors open. I mean, I don't know. Are they a nonprofit?
No. I mean,
do they advertise as a nonprofit or?
I have no idea. I haven't really ever dug into it that deeply to do whatever. Like I said, it's usually like there's a couple of companies that that I like the Dungeons and Dragons stuff they create. So when they're on there, I usually get an email, and that's the only ones I ever go and
I gotcha.
So, but like I said, I mean, I remember one time my daughter took a class for how to create computer games, like how to create like a computer adventure game, like classic. Here, I can just move this camera slightly to show you over there. She's like trying to make sure she's not in the camera focus. No.
Have we ever seen her on the show? I don't think I've ever seen her. I don't think she's ever popped on and just said hi or anything.
Well, you've seen her at Gen Con, though.
I've seen her at Gen Con, but I mean on the show. Prior to me joining the show, has she ever been on the show? Have you ever interviewed?
I've never interviewed my wife, no.
No?
No. Well, I mean, maybe
she could tell.
Maybe right away, like when we first met, but she aced the interview. So she did really well. She dressed for the job that she wanted.
And wore sweatpants.
I muted myself for that one, so they didn't hear me.
Yeah, we read lips.
yeah. So, what was I gonna say? Oh, of course, I forgot totally now.
About them hiding behind a paywall. And
Oh yeah, but I mean, ultimately, it's just like whatever. Click the button, you can just slide it down. But no. Oh, my daughter, like she got in, and then I was able to get like normally like the software to do it because she took a class in the summer to do it. And normally the software to make your own adventure games was like super expensive. It was like, like 60, 70, $80, and plus all. But I was able to get download keys on Humble Bundle for like $20, and I got everything, so it was definitely like, yeah. So, and I was able to.
So these companies donate the keys for like a write-off, and then Humble Bundle raises money for charity, but makes enough to keep their doors open, basically. I don't know that that's sleazy, although I do wish there was a little more transparency on their cut of it. I mean, honestly, even if they just took a 2 or 3% cut just to operational costs, I don't think anyone would care. But to hide it like that is it makes it look a little cheesy, even though I think it's probably innocent.
Yeah. So going to Humble Bundle right now. Let's see here.
Do they sell physical items, or is everything digital?
It's everything, and I've never seen anything physical. It's always been a digital item. But the whole point is that with that last PDF bundle, I actually got a code for like 25% off a 6-month or 12-month membership on World Anvil, which is not nothing, right?
Right.
And so I'm kind of like, like, is it? I wish I knew somebody who had used it, so I can see if it's something I'd actually use or not. So, like, for example, right now, and this is like I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I'm not trying to talk them up, but that new board game, that Cities Skylines board game came out.
Yeah, I've played the video game. I have it on Steam.
Well, right now, if you didn't have that game, did you like the game? Was it fun?
Yeah, it's a civilization building. It's kind of like SimCity in the early days, except much more advanced.
So if you pay them $18 right now, you can get the company, that Paradox Interactive company. You can get all of the Prison Architect stuff. All of the Cities Skyline stuff. I mean, that's like everything, all the downloadable stuff.
Right. They have a bunch. There's like 10 expansions to that game now.
Yep. All the Cities in Motion stuff, all of the Surviving Mars stuff. And you can get them all. They'll give you Steam keys for everything. If you want to give them $18, you can do that right now.
Seems like a good deal. I want to say I paid 10 or 15 just for the base game on a Steam sale, and then bought like 3 or 4 of the expansions for like $3 or $4 each. So that sounds like a pretty good deal to get almost everything in one shot.
And if you wanted to give them $1, you could get Prison Architect and 2 Cities in, like a Cities in Motion game, Cities in Motion game, and also one of the downloadable contents for Cities in Motion, whatever that is. I don't even know what Cities in Motion is.
Well, I'm sure it's just an expansion that probably adds more traffic stuff or whatever.
So I mean, that's like, that's one of the let's see here, what I mean, and it isn't only games. There's also here's let's see here, here's one for like Tomb Raider and a bunch of those games as well. I mean, so yeah, I don't go there very often, which is because I know I just end up spending a lot of money on it and using it over. But Pathfinder lost the bunch of Pathfinder, 50 books of Pathfinder, $679 worth of Pathfinder books, and then you can and it's like, pay $18 and get just a freaking ton of Pathfinder stuff if you want to, just like all PDFs. Now that doesn't usually like appeal to me too much because I don't really like PDFs normally. But I mean, a lot of times the ones that I get are ones where if you didn't back the book, on Kickstarter, you don't get it. You won't get the book unless you buy it secondhand. So sometimes getting the PDF's the only way that I can have that. But
no, it sounds like a pretty good deal for a good
Oh, yeah.
cause, and
There
I
you
mean,
go.
I got no problem with them taking a little bit to keep it running because someone's got to be doing all the coding and customer service and all and making sure all the codes work and all that stuff. I mean, there's somebody there working, so they need to get paid. Not everyone can afford to work for free, so I got no
Yeah.
problem with a service like that taking a cut. It should be a little more transparent, I think, but no worries. I would probably never not make sure they get a little something because if you want to keep getting these great deals, they got to stay in business, and the only way they're going to stay in business is if whoever's operating it makes enough money to survive. So,
Fair enough.
yep, I got no problem with that.
So Chad just said that the Alien RPG just came out. I'll have to check that out. If you're a fan of the
Alien series.
and who isn't?
I'm not a huge fan. I don't
Really?
dislike the movies. I like the movies, but I would not. That would not be the first RPG I would want to play.
Interesting.
But I am different.
No, I always liked the original Alien, and of course, Aliens was pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I always wonder about that. Is that is like the whole idea. Oh, here's what it says about the setting. The year is 2183. A little more than 3 years since the destruction of the colony on LV-426 and the disappearance of the USS Sulaco and the closing of the prison that led works at Reno 161. So those are the first movies. Alien, Aliens, and Alien 3. The loss of Thugo's colonial marine unit, along with those Weyland-Yutani sponsored outposts, and the implications of corporate foul play stemming from the incidents have created an air of distrust between the company and the United Americans. Here it was like thing. It was like many believe that Hadley's Hope was a test site for one of Weyland-Yutani's bioweapons, and that an enemy state sent a warship to nuke it from orbit. Others believe that the company is working with a rogue nation to assume control of the colonies on the frontier. The 2180s are a dangerous time to be alive. Now, here's one of the things that I think would be, and I could be completely wrong about this, but here's my opinion about this. Now, this sounds cool, and obviously, being able to insert yourself into the alien world and playing in that, I think would be fun because we want to be part of the that thing.
A whole new world.
Yeah, hold on, well, there you go. Somebody also mentioned Nemesis. The RPG. I will talk about Nemesis here in just
I did not back Nemesis for the game or RPG.
Yeah.
I wanted to, but I'm in call mode, so anything that's larger than a standard size game, I'm like, just unless it's Sharks, Star Wars, or superheroes, it's just like it's out. It's not. I'm not even looking at it. Like I was gonna back Great Wall, canceled it. It's like if it is not small,
I canceled my Great Wall as well.
It's out. If it's not small, it's out. The only game I've backed in the last month, since October, actually, I've actually been pretty good. I've backed one game since October, and it's only because I'm a sucker for city building, and that's Magnate, the first city. I backed that because I love city building games. I own them all. And I don't care that I got lots of them for the same genre because they almost all play differently. And of course, I backed Night of the Living Dead for $1 because I had to stay on top of the campaign for work reasons. I have to back all the Come projects just to make sure I get all the updates and stuff so I know what's going on. But yeah, the only game I've actually backed since October is Magnate. So I've been okay on Kickstarter. My goal was to mellow out and not back anything until well into next year. And I mean like March, April, May. I know there's some stuff coming up that I'm going to back, but if I can go 6 months with a clean slate and kind of let things catch up a little bit, because I'm always in a flux of waiting for stuff, pledge managers, I'd like to get to a point where most of my outstanding Kickstarters fulfill before I start backing a bunch of other stuff. That's my goal. I don't know if I'll be perfect, but right now I've got one Kickstarter back since October. If I can make it to June, July, August, I'll feel pretty good not backing more than one or two other projects. So it's my goal. Yeah. It's going to be part of my resolution. Only back something if you absolutely have to have it. Otherwise, just wait or buy it secondary and pay a little extra. I'm really going to try to cut down the Kickstarter because I look at my my spending habits, and like I go to my game store at the end of the year and I pull my receipts because they have I have a ID number, discount rewards thing, so they can pull all my transactions for the year. So they print out that for my taxes because I design games, I can write off my purchases as R&D stuff. So I get a little bit of the tax break for that. So I see what I purchase at the game store, which is not outrageous, but it is a lot less than what I buy on Kickstarter. So I'm trying to balance those out more, support the local store a little bit more, spend a little bit less on Kickstarter. So I'm trying to balance out my purchasing a little bit and lower it overall so that I can stay ahead of these games instead of always constantly trying to sell stuff. I'm tired of selling shit.
Oh,
I really am. I know you are.
I am tired of it. I had a couple of my buddies come over and they both got. I mean, one guy.
Your big boxes for $10 thing? Did you do that finally?
Just like, I was just like, just whatever. Just they're like, oh, how about these 5? And I was just like, yeah, give me like $50. That's fine. Whatever. Just
so what?
Done.
I know you haven't been perfect. I know you had said you weren't going to back anything, but we kind of already talked about that last time.
Yeah.
That you did. What else did you back this week? Anything?
Well, okay. So I have Gradient Descent, which is it's a mothership sci-fi horror thing. I always the RPG stuff is the only things that I back anymore.
And Car Wars, which is kind of a hybrid between board game RPG.
Yeah. And then there's a 5e RPG called Kazarda, which is the like a dark horror setting, which I'm a sucker for.
I will say that Divinity Original Sin looks tempting. Like I loved the video game. I'm not backing it, but I'm probably going to regret not backing that one because it looks cool and I'm a huge fan of the video game. And normally it would have been an instant back. For me last year, I would have just hit the button and not even thought about it. But it's like $170 to get like everything, and I'm like, before Christmas.
I don't think you'll really regret it. I really don't think you will.
Did you play it?
No, I just don't think you'll regret it. How many games like that do you have? I mean, it's just like you're not going to regret it. I mean, it's one of those things where like maybe you'll play it at a convention somewhere along the line, or you'll see somebody's giant set, like, and you'll just be like, oh, well, that looks really cool. And then you'll be like, oh,
cool.
I'm glad I didn't, drop $200 on it or whatever, I mean, and you'll be fine. I'm like, I'm kind of going through, going through my list of shame. We have our myth journeyman, which, is never. I mean, if it ever shows up, it'll, I'll be stunned, and they supposedly are still working on it or whatever.
My list of shame is shrinking. Thankfully, it's like there's a couple, but go ahead, finish yours, and I'll
and then Lazy Gamer, obviously that's dead in the water. That guy's gone, and never coming back. He's vanished. Couple other RPG things where like the people bit off more than they can handle, and they just and they never they even well, that's one of those things where they can it's you can see where it's like like this one that's like the make 100 dungeons. It was like this idea the guy was going to make a book with 100 dungeons in it, and it was just like last update was over a year ago now, December 6th, 2018, and just like, but you can still see that these people like they still will like log in every once in a while, you can click on their thing, their account, and so you can see that they actually log in to Kickstarter, that you can see they actually back things, but they're they just don't even look at who knows if they do or not. It's just like I have one that was a RPG that was supposed to be delivered for, it was a Call of Cthulhu adventure that was supposed to be delivered in November of 2017. That guy actually did a short update on, which makes me stuns me. He did an update on December 14th, and then just was like, It's like, I realize an update is overdue. I'm still awaiting a finished exterior map. I may have to forgo and make do with the draft of that map. Badger is still waiting. He's waiting for me to give him some essential text fixes to him. I don't have more news, but I should have posted this sooner. And it's just kind of like, yeah, just dude, whatever. You know, it's like you got $10,000 2 years ago, 3 years ago almost.
That
It's
money's long gone.
yeah, the money's long gone. You have no interest in actually. But here's the deal. It's like the the person actually, like the company that actually is making this or whatever, this Sentinel Hill Press. Sentinel Hill Press. He continues like posting things on his blog and stuff like that. So he's not like, gone. He's just, just not
Slow as shit.
yeah, he's so, I mean, there's something to be said about that. Like, they still have a presence, if you will, which, I still I sent another email to Kickstarter saying, can we please just have the ability to, get rid of the things that like we don't have or whatever, and they haven't, like the ones that are just you back for $1, just so you can put them aside or move on. But yeah, it's just like, I don't think they're ever gonna do that. I know it's dumb, but it's just like, it's one of those things that like, I'm always just like, I just wish I could just like kind of either put a check mark on this or move past it. Yeah, it's just like, there's another one where it was like they're going to publish an RPG in both Italian and English. The Italian one is done and has been out for a long time, but they haven't translated it yet. And everybody's just kind of like, all the English backers are like, where's our stuff? And they haven't seen it yet. People are getting annoyed. I don't know. It's like my ones that are dead and gone are still dead and gone. It's definitely one of those things now where I've learned that I need to really avoid one-timers. Like anything that looks like you're doing way too much, and it's one of those things where you just have to like maybe not just back it, and maybe like do I don't know, what was it? Like you have to like maybe see if you can do like a late pledge or something after they've actually put things together or whatever. So, but anyway,
Well,
go ahead.
There's
Yours.
enough sites now that you can buy Kickstarters at a slightly increased rate. There's like Game Stewart where they'll sell them and they'll mark them up 30-40% and buy like 100 Kickstarters of something and then mark it up 20-30% and resell it. I mean, they're a safe buy. You can get them on eBay. Sometimes people get that buyer's remorse and they just sell it for what they paid for it, and you can get them for the exact same price, if not cheaper. Sometimes if they're tight on money and they're like, oh crap, well, this game I'll just sell it and eat the shipping costs. I mean, there's always solution. I mean, sometimes if the game's super hot, you end up paying a lot more for it. Like I know like Joan of Arc, that big Kickstarter, some of them were selling for over $1,000 on eBay, and it was like a $600 or $700 all buy-in. So depending on the actual game, it can be costly, but I always feel if it's something that you truly, truly, really want, you'll pay it, even if it's, super inflated. I don't know about maybe Joan of Arc. That one's super expensive, but if it's a $200 Kickstarter and you can get it for $250, you're probably going to do it if the game really means that much to you. I don't know. I think if like going back through all of my games, I would take half of them and not back them now to get that money back if I could, and have the games go back to where they came from in a heartbeat, which means that I'm going to err on the side of caution more than just buy or FOMO moving forward, because I don't want to be at the end of next year saying I backed 40 games in 2020 and I would take 20 of them and sell them back just to have that money back in my account. I don't want to do that. And last year I could easily say that on some big ticket items that I would regret, like my Joan of Arc full pledge that's sitting in my room still in shrink. But my list of shame has shrunk, but there are still a few steady regulars there. We'll start off with Mr. Golden Egg Games and Airlines Golden Age of Aviation, which is now 3 years to this month late from delivery. No refund. Promises of getting the game out by this Christmas. Christmas is in like 4 days. He hasn't posted an update yet since I talked to him at Gen Con. I'm going to say bullshit on that one. Dog's Life, they are in production and having issues manufacturing the game because of a previous game with the same name that they had litigation over, but they said they got that resolved and now they're trying to get back on track. It is 2 years late this month, so I'm up and down on that one. I think if I do get it, I had back the collector's edition. I don't think they're going to be able to make that now. I think they lost enough money on the litigation that they're just going to make the game. And if I can just get the game, even if it's like the $60 game that I paid $120 for, I'll be happy just to get something. They've been posting on Facebook regularly, but their Kickstarter page got taken down because of the copyright claim. So hopefully they'll be able to still fulfill that through the pledge manager. Rambo is late. It was supposed to be January of this year. It's only 11 months late. They got everything finally proofed and approved, so it's supposed to be done manufacturing right around Chinese New Year. So it's probably not going to fulfill until like March or April of next year. But things look like that's going to happen. It's like it's moving forward. Street Fighter, that one's supposed to be March 2019. Angry Joe bit off a lot more than he could chew on this one. They had so much issues with Jasco getting approvals for all the art and the manufacturers getting it right and going back and forth with the manufacturers that I think they really thought they were going to have that game out this year. And it's looking like it's probably another 6 to 8 months away from being done because they just finishing up final approvals on all the art and cards and everything. And then they're going to start manufacturing now right into Chinese New Year, which means it's really not going to start manufacturing until probably March, which means it's probably not going to be done until like this time next year. Sad because that was a big one and I was excited about it and I've lost a lot of excitement about it because of it. After that, everything else for the most part is still within their reasonable time frame. I got Sentinels video game, the Sentinels of Freedom video game, which is 2019 of August, so it's only a few months late. Eclipse was March of this year, and it's fulfilling any day now. Probably by January it'll be done, I think. Kung Fu Panda was March of this year, and that one's supposed to be coming out any day now. And then everything else is like July, August, September, October of 2019. So it's only a few months late, but Tidal Blades, I'm waiting for that one. That was October. The Belfort expansion, the 10th anniversary one, that was supposed to be July of 2019. That I'm guessing, I don't know if you know anything before you left or not, if that's how late that's going to be.
All I know about that is that there was, and I'm not going to go into too much detail.
No, I don't.
But I mean, there was a basically a single point of failure going on, and they were trying to rectify that when I left. So, okay. Yeah, I mean, and no, where they are with that, I have no idea. I mean,
yeah. And outside of that, the only two I have left that are late is In the Hall of the Mountain King, which was not late because it's December 2019, and I got shipping for it today, so it will be on time. And Consumption, Food and Choices, which was supposed to be November of 2019, and I've heard nothing from them. Everything else is 2020, so yeah, the list is shrinking, and if I can keep staying off Kickstarter for a few more months, I think I'll finally get everything caught up, which would be super nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, Consumption. Let's see. The last update for Consumption was December 10th. Everything's on track. Well, it says everything's on track for December update. On boat moving. Okay, so Consumption is on the boat heading this way, so it'll probably fulfill in January since this was December 10th and it was already on the boat. So 6 weeks out will be like mid-January. So yeah, it looks like that one's only going to be a month late, and that's perfectly fine. Like anything inside of a couple months is reasonable for me. So yeah, so that's good.
Very fair.
Oh, looks like Lorado wants in.
Oh, because I'm not paying attention because I'm looking at my
I
list
just
of
saw
shame.
Kabuki said, I don't know how old that message is. I have not been looking at chat because I was looking at my Kickstarter pages, so I don't know if he's
All
still
right. I feel bad. Here, let me. Boom! There he is.
there. There he
Hello.
is. He's a horrible host.
He is the
Rado.
worst.
I
Absolutely
apologize.
the worst.
I apologize for him. I
I'm,
have no control over the buttons.
Windows has
unfortunately.
this feature where you can actually have windows side by side instead of full screen. It's something you might want to look into.
If you're running a show that inquires people to come in,
That won't let them in unless you push a magic button.
So I watched Force Awakens with my kids because my two kids and my dad were going to see episode 9.
Did you
on
watch
Sunday.
Last Jedi with them too?
I'm not familiar. What's that? So we watched Force Awakens, and like then it was time for them to get ready for bed. And Disney Plus said, "Would you like to watch New Hope?" And I was just like, "Yes, I would like to watch New Hope." And I laid down on the couch and I took a little nap before the boom this evening, and I was just like I let the wonderful sound. I was watching New Hope, and I was just like, this does not look like a 40-year-old movie. You know how sometimes you'll see an old movie and it looks like an old movie? Like, I mean,
well, I'll say the special effects do not look 40 years old, but the actors sure do.
Well, that's because we know what the actors
by
look
the
like
haircuts and the clothing styles, even though it's sci-fi, that it looks like the scenes where the actors are more prevalent, definitely. But when you see some of the space scenes, it holds up pretty well. I mean, compared to most movies, it holds up pretty damn well, I think.
I agree. So yeah, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. I was just like, wow, this is actually this looks just nice and crisp, and I think I made it through like the first 20 minutes before I was snoozing, and I was just like, yeah, this will, and I woke up a couple times as I was snoozing, and but yeah, it was good stuff. Such a good movie, such a wonderful movie. I don't know. When are you going to go see episode 9, Richard?
10 p.m. tomorrow.
10 p.m. tomorrow. You just
And
make sure nobody
Friday.
spoils it for you, huh?
I'm already. Why does every fucking YouTube channel I subscribe to have to get their hot take? And I can't close my eyes fast enough before I see some fucking. Let's see, what did one of them say? No, I don't. I just want to say it out loud.
No, you probably just say you don't like spoilers.
What does the thing mean? And you could just say, "Oh, well, taken out of context, the thing." I don't know what that means. It's just a.
It's like seeing a thumbnail for Jaws, and it shows
the thing they were talking about last night on YouTube that I didn't want to fucking see. Motherfuckers, you couldn't wait just one fucking day. You couldn't just say,
"Yeah,
we talk about Star Wars."
So here, and we'll have this discussion because I was waiting for you to be on here for this discussion. But I was taking my kids to school this morning. I was listening to sports radio, sports radio this morning, right? Like literally, like it's Vikings news. Because it's a Minnesota-based sports radio, and that like when I take my son to school, almost the exact time I take my son to school, they go through touchdown. It's time for Vikings news. And they go through this whole thing. I'm like, oh, and then my son and I we sing along to the Vikings news little fanfare, and then I listen to the Vikings news. They talk about, oh, this guy's injured, he's not going to play. What do they have to do to get in the playoffs? I'm listening to that about halfway.
Nothing's going to go wrong in this story.
Yeah, nothing's going to go wrong. Nothing, and that's exactly what happened. That's all he did. No, because they are media people, they were able to actually see the movie before, like the private screening kind of thing, and so. One of them just says, it's like, oh, he goes, well, I just don't think they're going to beat the Packers on Monday. He's like, oh, well, yeah, you're the one who doesn't even like, Rise of Skywalker. I was like, and he's like, well, the reason why I didn't like it, I was like, no.
And you swerved off the road, slammed into a tree.
We decided.
Make sure the radio stopped, right?
We talked earlier, Rado, before you got on, that we're going to wait until the New Year's Day episode to discuss the movie, which
I assume there isn't. Oh, so there will be a New Year's Day. There won't be next week, obviously.
We might.
Well,
try
he
something
says he
today.
may.
Are you
I'm not. I
serious? On
probably
Christmas?
won't. He's
But
saying he may.
sir, it's Christmas.
That's what I say. Mhm.
Yeah,
Just like
Most
that.
likely it'll be New Year's Day Eve show because
Yeah.
by then most of the holiday is over at that point. So that's when we're going to discuss our reactions to it because by then most everyone will have seen it that will be watching the show at least.
Yeah.
And if you're not, we'll make sure it's in the title so you don't come on because we'll be talking about it.
Yeah. So no, yeah. I mean, even on my sports ball channel,
Yeah.
they are all of a sudden just like, oh, by the way, just like
Yeah, I'm not listening to anything. I stopped yesterday just to be safe because overseas, Asia and stuff, they're a day ahead. So I played it safe and only did stuff that I absolutely had to do and stayed off everything else.
Yep.
So here
yeah.
I'm gonna go on my little rant about spoilers, and then I will let somebody else rant away.
I would like to after your rant though. I would like to have predictions. Now, I know, Rada, you're not into predicting movie stuff.
Nope.
I would just like to have predictions on whether you think the movie's going to fulfill needs, not fulfill needs, disappoint.
Oh, sure.
Now, I'm not going to go. I know you don't like details because
Yeah,
you
no
don't like
predictions about,
speculating and then it not coming true.
who dies
Let's
or
just
anything
do
like that,
predictions on
I
will the
think that's
movie
a topic.
be better
I
or
know I'm talking about the stuff around the movie, sure.
yeah.
But
Okay, but
I hear
go
someone
ahead,
has to
Lance.
rant first.
Yeah.
So I made my post on the Facebooks. I just basically said, well, I'm out until Sunday because that's when I'm going to see the movie, right? And I was just like, so I mean, if I'm just not going to respond to anybody, just or anything like that. But I did see somebody I consider a friend, somebody who's been on the Boom before, posted a thing where it's like, I'm sick and tired of these people that complain about spoilers, that complain about the fact that you ruined this movie or that movie for you. If it means that much to you, you should just stay off the internet then. It's your job to make sure that the show, the movie or whatever isn't spoiled. It isn't all of our jobs to make sure of that. And all I did was I said, I completely disagree. And that's all. I have no idea if they've responded to me in any way, shape, or form, because I do. I completely disagree about that. And the reason why,
just to be kind and polite and think of others.
they had basically
Maybe that's
said,
political correctness run amok.
Yeah.
But political correctness is also just politeness.
Yeah, but here's what why I think that I disagree, and I can see their point. I definitely can. You police your input, right? But here's the deal: if you see something, if somebody says something offensive, like to you, I'm not saying like something like universally or vastly majority
anti-Semitic or
I'm just saying something offensive, something that and you get offended by that person saying that. Does that mean that like they should be okay with saying something that's like notably offensive, not like hate speech, but I mean I'm just saying like things that like if you asked a crowd, 50% or more would say that's pretty offensive. You probably shouldn't be just saying that out loud. So, and admittedly, it's apples and oranges a little bit. They'd say, well, no, I shouldn't have to listen to that. You shouldn't say that. Well, that's just it. It's like it's even and the thing about also that I really, really don't like about spoilers is that I hate everybody who thinks they're freaking funny, who's just like when you're like in a thing, you're like, hey, I haven't seen the movie, don't say anything about it. Oh, really? You don't want to hear about the fact that Rey is actually Jar Jar's daughter and it's like, don't even say that. I don't know if you're joking. I don't know if you're serious. I have no idea. And it's just like, why do people feel like this weird need that they somehow like metaphorically get off on just like messing with you?
It's just an attention thing. Like they do it to get a rise out of people. Some people just get their kicks from aggravating and annoying other people. I have never understood it. I mean, it's one thing if you're accidentally do it. Like if I was just talking casually and slipped and said, "Oh, and Han died," and oh, I'm so sorry. But when they do it on purpose, and it's it's a different level of dick, right? I mean, I get it. Like if a movie's 2-3 months old, 6 months old, a year old, yeah, forget it. Don't argue with me about spoilers at that point. But in the first 20 days or so, definitely first week or two, but even in the first month, I try to be very careful. But if I'm in a closed group like this and we have a very closed audience of, the usual, and we say we're talking about this tonight, then don't get on the horse and start complaining about it. And I think if we wait 2 weeks and we put it in the title, there will be Star Wars discussion. Please avoid if you haven't seen it yet. I think that's perfectly fair, but that's doing it responsibly. There's a big difference between just spouting it on your Facebook page where everyone will see it versus putting it on a specific episode that is titled and you've gotten every opportunity to avoid.
Sure. Yeah.
If you don't like it at that point, complain to the wall.
Let me ask you this. As I was out of line. And there's going to be some spoilers for the first Star Wars Rise of Skywalker trailer that came out, 4 months ago?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Came out back in August.
Yeah, trailers are nothing but spoilers.
I assume I can actually talk about that because it's
I think we've all seen the trailer. Have you seen the trailer?
That's what I thought too. But in my last podcast, a question about it came up, and I mentioned, wouldn't it be amazing? Wouldn't it be amazing to be able to go tomorrow night and see it and not be waiting for the Emperor because of that first traier?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, hell,
Wouldn't
even
that be
Comic-Con.
incredible? And I got quite a few very angry emails at me for I had no idea that and I felt horrible. I apologized up and down the road. It didn't even occur to me for a second
that someone hadn't seen the trailer
out there who was unaware because so I just said it very blithely, and I felt horrible about it. I certainly didn't respond, well, fuck you too. I can say whatever the fuck I want.
That's a tough one because not only was it on the trailer and not only was it like broadcasted from all the Comic-Con coverage and Star Wars convention coverage, but it was also blasted all over the internet. Like you couldn't avoid that. Like you didn't even know you were looking at it. Emperor Palpatine makes appearance in Star Wars. I mean, that was everywhere. Front page of Yahoo crap. So
yeah, I know.
I mean, yes, it's great if people were able to avoid it and it got leaked before they could get to the movie. I mean, that sucks, but I mean, that was pretty common knowledge. So I don't feel like you were being malicious about it. I mean,
I still felt terrible. That's the thing though. Unlike,
yeah, sure. You'll feel bad. I would too.
I felt absolutely horrible because those people did actually have the chance to go in and see it knowing nothing. And that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
But so I did kind of ruin that. And
I kind of hate trailers for that. I mean, yes, I understand.
They didn't need it. I mean, they've gotten away with it so far. I mean, that was one of the main news stories. How is it that they were able to film it, get him in, get him out under all the scrutiny, and yet nobody knew? And so it was this huge surprise when the trailer came out. If they could keep it secret just keep it secret for 3 more months.
Yeah, it's crazy, but nah.
Yeah, I mean, they were stunned that they had the actor on set like multiple.
But was he green screened off location where no one knew? Because they can do that.
No, they said that they said he was on set.
Really, that surprises me that it didn't leak then.
And I guess that's why they felt like they had to do it because sooner or later it was going to come out. And I will grant them that. Better to at least have some impact because, of course, obviously we all had kind of this reaction when we saw that trailer too. But still, what an amazing experience that would have been. What was it like in the 70s to watch Doctor Who and tune in on Saturday night and say, he just died? They just killed him. We didn't know that was going to happen.
Well, nobody cared because Doctor Who's a horrible TV show.
Well, okay, but you get my point.
I will say though that the watching movies back in the 70s and 80s when trailers were around, but not nearly as available. If you didn't go to the movies and see previews of other movies, you didn't see them because they weren't on TV and there was no internet. So I kind of missed that excitement of going to the next Indiana Jones movie, having no clue what the movie's about other than what you could see on that poster. That movie poster was all the.
I remember fan magazines. I totally remember
some fan magazines, but
Starlog.
Most of it was that movie poster, and you would just dissect that poster, going, "Oh, look it! There's a little thing in the background. I wonder what that is." And I used to love looking at movie posters back then, and now it's like, who cares about movie posters because you've seen half the movie in trailers before you even go see the movie. I kind of hate trailers.
I loved Starlog. I loved that magazine. That was a great magazine. I mean, talk about like a magazine that was created basically to talk about Star Wars, and then people did. That's what they did. It was just
it was a forum. It was an internet forum before internet forums existed.
Yeah,
kind of like how Mad Magazine used to always have the readers gallery. It's a way for people to talk about a topic they really enjoy with other people of similar interests before the internet.
Yeah. No, it was it was good stuff. I enjoyed it a great deal.
And it turns out I spoiled it for Chad.
Oh, he doesn't like Star Wars anyway, so you're good.
He didn't say that. Jeez, he doesn't care.
Yeah, he did. He said, "I don't give 3 shits about Star Wars," so you're good.
Okay, because now I'm feeling really horrible about this.
Anyone who watches this show has to know that topics are going to get broached. I mean, we won't go deep into spoilers, but general knowledge stuff is going to come out, so you watch at your own risk. I mean,
Speaking of spoilers, just to try to avoid any, I have no idea. All I know is this week's Mandalorian is up tonight.
I saw it this afternoon.
Friday. I'm assuming it must have some kind of lead into the film. I have no idea, but it seems like that is probably something that should be watched tonight.
Would it? I didn't think the Mandalorian.
I'm just assuming they've moved it because
I think they did it for the holidays.
Something that happens.
I think they just pushed it up early just to give it some buffer because the holiday and all that and Christmas, the weekend before Christmas is such a busy time. I don't think it had it. Well, maybe it had something to do with the movie. I saw the episode. I liked it. That's all I'm going to say about it. But I don't know that it had anything to do with the movie release. Maybe they didn't want it competing with the movie release, so they got it out before the movie came out. That's probably more why. Or else people would not be watching Mandalorian and be watching the actual movie. But if they did it today, people could watch it before they go to the movie.
I'll say this: my mother was planning on going to a movie with a friend of hers this weekend, and she is ridiculously annoyed because every single movie screen in town all weekend is Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like literally, like she can't see a movie unless it's Star Wars. That's
I'm in a small town too, and like I'd say 14 screens at my theater. There'll probably be 3 other movies, maybe 4 other movies, and then everything else will be Star Wars. But I'm cool with that.
Yeah. I mean,
so predictions for the movie, not specifics,
not the movie, I mean,
expectations. Let's call it that. It's probably better.
I shouldn't say because my stupid ass YouTube feed told me what the Rotten Tomatoes score for it is.
Really?
I don't know if you want me to tell you, or if you'd rather.
No, all I've heard is it's getting mixed response. That's all I've heard as far as that goes.
Yeah, I've heard mixed response, but I've not seen any hard. I didn't go look up the Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't care.
I mean, to be honest, I don't care what Rotten Tomatoes
says. Post-order video is a 55, which is a certified fail. So apparently the critics are not happy. I mean, for what?
Well, the critics loved the last one and the fans hated it. So maybe this will be a reverse where the critics won't like it, but the fans will love it.
Based on nothing more than seeing that number, my assumption is that they are trying to course correct, go back to Force Awakens. Oh, let's just try to drown in nostalgia instead of doing something new. And the critics who loved Jedi for really pushing the envelope and trying to do something that shook it up, were like, ho hum. Do we have to go back to this? Do we need Force Awakens Part 2? I don't know. That would be my guess. I will find out tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Any contrary guesses,
Lance?
Yeah, what do you think JJ is going to do? Is JJ going to
without any particulars
Jedi under the bus?
Yeah, no particulars, just
without any
broad
particulars. I believe it'll be a very safe film.
Yes,
I think it'll be
like Force Awakens was super safe.
Yeah.
I see. I watched for this. This was probably like my 5th viewing of Force Awakens, and admittedly, I was kind of half watching it while I was cooking food and doing some other things with the kids, and like I was trying to take care of some other stuff.
You want to let Aldi in?
All right. Ooh, look at this. Hold on a second. Well. Look who finally dragged his ass back in. It isn't the $96
We're talking
million
Star Wars.
man.
Of course he's hopping in.
No, please.
It's good to see you again, Scott.
Have you been following what we're talking about?
No, I just got
Oh, okay.
All right,
we're doing what our expectations are for the new Star Wars movie, but we're not going into detail to provide any like guesses. We're just trying to, what do we feel the movie's going to do for us?
and we're in complete non-spoiler world here.
Yes.
I mean, other than the
Not
fact that
expectations about who will die, but expectations of do we
Did
think
you guys-
JJ played it safe? Kind
Did
of.
you guys
so.
not
So this
learn
is
from the
my take. This is
And,
my
and
take.
by the way,
and then-
your volume is way low, Scott.
Can't hear you.
I can hear him just fine.
Really?
Maybe it's your fault. I don't know.
He sounds like one step above a mosquito buzzing to me.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have my mic set up yet, so
That's better.
That's better.
Whatever you did now is better.
maybe because I turned the mic is not.
There you go.
Just-
Stick it in
there
your
you go.
mouth.
The mic is definitely on. Yeah, you just must have had it away.
Testing.
Test.
Testing. So this is also from his bunker. This is his new home.
Yep.
So
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
My new office.
Nice.
so we'll have you do a pan and scan here in just a little bit so we
I
can
don't know
check
if
it
that's
out.
gonna work. It's so messy. I don't want to show any. I don't want to show
Oh,
it.
that's fine.
You're
All
among
right. So here's going back to so Scott can hear the question. So the question was, Rado revealed that right now it's sitting at a 55% for
55.
What?
55.
critics.
5-5.
5. We're number car 5. What movie is that from?
Hmm.
And the whole John Candy says it, and he's like,
Dragnet?
"What car are we? What car are we?" And then he goes, 5. And he goes, "This is car number 55. We're in a truck."
Planes, trains, automobiles.
No, Blues Brothers. Anyway,
No.
what's it going to be? I think that they played it safe. I mean, this is what I was betting on before I heard the 5. I was thinking that
I've actually gone and checked. It's 59% at this point.
Okay, well,
Is that fans or reviewer?
Rotten
That's
Tomatoes.
actual reviewers. There is no audience score yet.
Okay.
so
That can only mean one thing. It's great.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's a fan movie again.
So what I think it is that they will do it'll be fan service. It will be without going into details. Like I said, there's lots of details I could give, but I mean, it'll have the steady 3 acts. It will have the the explanation, the downswing, and the culmination, right? And then the idea that there's going to be something more in the future, so they can continue hitting the cash button on it.
Isn't everybody dead? There's only like 3 characters alive now, right?
Well, yeah. So I mean, things I'm interested in. I'm interested in the spectacle of it, like as far as just seeing it.
Yeah,
right?
it looks good. The previous is great.
I'm interested in the spectacle of it. I'm interested to see how much of a role Mark Hamill gets to have, if anything, in this movie. I'm interested to see how they handle the Carrie Fisher situation.
Mhm.
I mean, and I think that that's one of the things that I can't even imagine how they have to handle that. I mean, in a way that's both respectful, but also gives people a feeling of it has to have some gravitas to it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, so those are the things I'm
You're, Lance,
what?
you're not going to get any of that. Fool yourself.
Hey, Baby Downer, everybody.
I mean, it's so
I-
funny. It's
I
so
think-
funny how much a year has changed you.
I honestly think that this movie is just going to be pure fan service. I think JJ is sitting there thinking the fans hated the last movie. In
Yeah,
more so than normal. Not all of them. Obviously, we got one right here that loved
Hey,
it.
everybody.
But most of the feedback was negative from The Last Jedi. And I think he's just going to make this a pure fan service. And it kind of worries me because I'm skeptical that there'll be so much fan service that the substance of the movie won't be what I'm hoping it to be. I want a conclusion, but I want more than just a tidy little bow. I want to know, I want to dig a little deeper into some stuff, and I don't know that we'll get it. I think it's going to be fan service from start to finish. I hope it's not, but I think it's going to be. And if it does that, I'll be a little let down. But as long as they are coherent in their plot lines and things make sense, I'll be okay. just be done with this and then move on to new stuff so that we don't have to deal with all this backlash of people that are expecting stuff from 30 years ago. Just give us some fresh stuff moving forward so that you can set your own stories and you don't have to worry about stuff that predated it.
I think you said something there that really, and we'll let Richard and Scott say something, but I think you said something very, very good right there. I think they had a situation where, and I'm not going to say anything about The Mandalorian other than the fact that I think they've done a very good job with it, right?
I agree.
As far as an episodic TV show, I think
it's very well produced.
That
agree.
Mandalorian, I think, is proof positive that you can have a completely original story, but still like based in the world, and they can make something that people enjoy. And because I mean, pretty much the vast majority of people are enjoying Mandalorian, from what I understand.
I would think so. I'm sure some of your diehards are going to complain and nitpick it, but I think overall the story is good and the acting is pretty good.
Here's the thing, and this is the thing that kind of stuns me, is that when I think about the fact that we're getting this episode 9, right? And this literally puts a bookend on 40 plus years of movies.
Star Wars, yeah.
Which is crazy to me. Like
it's a little sad because that means we're old as shit.
A little, yeah.
Because we've all seen the original in theaters, most of us. So,
but I mean, so we're gonna get this bookend, and I'm so that's really amazing to me. I mean, I don't think, and I'll say this, I don't think this will ever happen in movies again. There will never be a situation where you're going to have 9 movies and
James Bond will probably continue on.
But James Bond isn't. But James Bond doesn't reference earlier movies. I mean,
that's true. They're almost all.
They have occasionally, but very.
It's mostly standalone.
Well, actually, the new stuff does. The new stuff.
Oh, Marvel. Well, I mean, the cinematic universe. That's basically this, except much more accelerated.
Yeah. Anyway,
Craig Bond.
What? Daniel Craig Bond. Yeah.
Craig Bonds all reference each other.
Yeah, they do. They do. But prior to that,
but yeah, it's not even in the ballpark.
Yeah. Anyway, what's your Richard? What is your feelings? What's your expectation?
He already said he went first. Scott's turn.
Oh
well, I expressed what I already knew, which is that basically, I expect it'll be another Force Awakens, just trying to tidy things up. I mean, we don't have to get into Last Jedi. Obviously, I think it's absolutely an inspired film, so I fully expect to be let down a bit.
I'm telling you, the first scene is Luke Skywalker waking up on like in like the co-pilot seat
about not doing predictions
of Millennium Falcon, and you're saying, "Oh my gosh, I just had the weirdest dream."
That's I think the 30th time he's made that joke on this show.
He just wakes up.
He's like, I agree that people who liked The Last Jedi are probably not going to like this movie because I think this movie is going to try to fix some of the more popular things that people hated about that movie, or retcon it, or
they don't have 9 hours of movie to fix everything that was wrong.
No, but it's like 3 hours, right? It's like 3 hours,
2.5.
I don't know. Whether he tries to fix it or not, whether he ignores it, whether he builds on it, I do think. Well, there was a bit of chat about this, in the chat, that J.J. Abrams is a fairly safe filmmaker. He doesn't rock the boat. He does just try as best he can to give the audience what they want. If he can best identify. And I think that's true to a certain extent. But my counterpoint was his reboot of Star Trek was so much more ballsy than Force Awakens. And, to me, as a diehard, lifelong Star Trek fan, I respected and appreciated it so much more.
Yeah, but he didn't have Disney breathing down his neck when he did Star Trek.
That's true. Yeah, that's a very good point. I am certain he had a lot more freedom. That's
I'm sure
he
did.
Good point.
Kathleen Kennedy was pretty much up his ass the entire movie, I'm sure.
I will say this: when I purchased the tickets. So one of the cool things about the fact that when I go to it on Sunday, I'm going to it with my 2 kids, but I'm also going to it with my father. My father, who took me to the very first Star Wars movie ever, and so like I'm actually going to see this with the person who opened my eyes to the Star Wars world. I mean, I still remember. Yeah, I
Nobody
still
knew. It's just like, let's go kill some time and watch this movie. Nobody knew. Nobody knew what that was.
the movie had been out for a
I'm gonna
couple of
change
weeks.
your life, kid.
You know, the movie had been out for a couple of weeks, and like some of his teacher friends had said, "Yeah, that movie's really good. You should take your kids to it." And then I ended up at my dad's house all by myself because my sister had something going on and my brother had something going on, so it was just me and him. And he was like, "Hey, let's go to a movie today. Somebody told me this movie's really good." And we went to a movie theater. Like I said, doesn't even exist anymore. They bulldozed it. It's now a giant parking lot, and and it like literally like changed my life. Which is weird to say, but it's like, it's what it did, And so I think I like the fact that I'm going with my dad. I'm really, and when I mentioned it to him, he was like, yes. He said, we have to do that. Bring the kids. Let's go. So, yeah. I mean, but it's a total generational thing, and it's perfect if that makes any sense. Anyway,
Say Lance
what?
that disowned Star Wars last year.
Well,
we're
not gonna dive back into Last Jedi.
You've brainwashed yourself, I guess.
No, I'll say this. The first trailer I watched actually made me happy. Like I literally, I watched it, and when I heard Lando laugh, I was like, oh, I was just like, yeah. I was, So
was Lando in the trailer?
Yeah, because you see him and you hear him laugh as he's piloting the Millennium Falcon.
I've not seen any of the trailers. Only
which sponsored that wonderful meme of from the Solo movie, which I love. I love the Solo movie, but it shows young Solo and young Lando, and the meme is Lando talking to Solo, and he goes, "I want my ship back," and Solo goes, "Over my dead body," and then they show the old Lando Calrissian flying it in the last one. I was like, oh, that's perfect. That's good. Anyway, so what's your expectation, Scott? When are you going to go see the movie?
Tomorrow.
You have no expectations?
No, because after we've crushed this movie into dust over the past. Did it come out last year or was it the year before? I can't remember.
It was.
Isn't it 2 years ago?
Has it been 2 years already? Holy shit!
And it's still horrible.
Every 2 years.
Was it 2 years ago?
I am going to force myself to watch it. I'm going to force myself. I've only watched The Last Jedi 1.5 times, and I'm going to force myself to watch it with my kids. And I'm going to just be sitting on a couch, just gritting my teeth in excruciating anger.
We're not predicting anything?
No, we're not predicting anything.
No, we're trying not to.
Other than just our feelings about the production of the film, philosophy, that kind of stuff.
Here's the deal: they had to put a lot of money into this movie to get everybody back interested in Star Wars. Luckily, they had The Mandalorian, which did the job. Perfect timing on that to get everybody to forget about how bad the previous. Now, Richard, you liked the movie, but I think most people didn't.
I would argue against that, as I have done in the past, based solely on the fact that literally millions of people went out and bought the Blu-ray.
You have to. Yeah. I mean, it's Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
But you are okay. And I understand your argument.
And the fact that it was still a big monster hit, that monster hit came about not from people just watching it once, especially because it was a long movie. So it had fewer showings. So to be able to do as well as it did, it was the #1 movie of that year.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, no, that's not true. Yeah. No, it was for the closed year. Although I think maybe Jumanji planted it.
Endgame. No, it wasn't Endgame. It was Infinity War.
That was this year.
No, yeah, no. I mean, I'm talking 2 years ago or 3 years ago with Last Jedi. It was the biggest film of the season, and I guess you could say yes. Everybody was going back and watching it 3 or 4 times to hate watch it.
Yeah.
Because that's how
I think there was definitely some hate watching
film of the year. People have to watch it 3 or 4 times. I suspect most people were not hate watching it, but loving it. Like pretty much the vast majority.
I think this comes down to
there's a difference. I don't want to go down this road too many times with you, but there's a difference between saying 60% of the people liked it and vast majority, which I think.
Let's just say it was not a smashing success.
I think this comes down to another issue of the vocal minority is much louder than the
very vocal, very minority.
The diehard old school Star Wars fans hated this movie, and they are the loudest. Yes. I mean, I was also in the crowd where I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. But I also agreed with Richard wholeheartedly that more people liked that movie than hated it, but the people that hated it so much that
much hate.
you could not.
Okay.
Not
Hate 'em, hate.
Here's how this is. Okay. So
Yeah.
let me just ask
Oh,
you.
wait. Well, let me finish my thought. Let me finish my thought.
Yes.
Okay, go, Scott.
Go ahead,
Scott.
Alden.
Talking about you've been on this for like an hour already. Jesus.
Oh god, yeah.
No, you
not
walked right
over.
into it. We had just
Not
It's
started.
like-
over.
So here's my take on after watching every Star Wars movie in the theater. I'm done with Star Wars after this movie. Like, I will not go see any Star Wars movie in the theaters. Like that.
Even
for
a
me,
new rebooted
This is a
completely.
nice. This is a nope. This is a nice tie. I could say I saw every Star Wars movie in the theater, and I'm done. And I'm out.
I just realized Richard has Steamopolis in front of him. What do you think of that, buddy?
Good eye, sir.
Do I not get to
Wow,
talk?
well
Come
spotted.
on, Lance. Quit changing the subject.
I mean, that boring.
How did you know?
So does that also include like the TV stuff like Mandalorian, or are you still
No, I'll
gonna
watch
keep watching?
Mandalorian, but I'm not going to go to the theater.
You're
not going to theater.
saying for you, Star Wars is no longer must see.
Oh, no, I think the last 3 movies basically have cured me of my nostalgia for it, because the prequels were terrible, right? Obviously, everybody mostly agrees with that. Then
I could watch
you
the
have a hope.
lightsaber duel. And
You have a hope.
I'm
Yeah,
actually a big fan of the prequels, but I guess we'll save that
I
for
like
another.
I like the pod racer. But yeah, so our entire lives have been dominated by this one stupid sci-fi genre that, like, the resources of Disney, if they can put that somewhere else besides Star Wars, would be amazing. Like, please just, and they've already like sidelined the stuff, right? Like, they canceled all the
Yeah.
offshoots and all
After
that
this
stuff.
movie, there's nothing
Good.
on the slate for like the next 2 years other
Great.
than the TV stuff.
I'm done. Like, I'm really ready to be done with Star Wars. It's a mediocre sci-fi universe. It has a lot of fun stuff. I admit I
Whoa.
I geeked on the
Yeah.
Mandalorian, but I'm ready to be done with it, right? I want something else.
Scott's put on his George Lucas. It's for children, right?
It is a children, and pushing 50 here. I would like to see some more modern, adult-themed
Shots
sci-fi.
fired. Mediocre sci-fi universe.
Oh, come on, it
let's
is. Come
digest on that
Oh yeah, please
comment for a minute.
tell me how amazingly sci-fi Star Wars is. It's a goofy thing. It's a goofy world. I'm not trying to be the negative. I love Star Wars. I grew up loving Star Wars. I'm the Star Wars kid. I had the stupid. I was Luke Skywalker. We had Princess
Were you
Leia.
that kid with the lightsaber running around in his room
If
smacking
I ever
stuff?
had a lightsaber.
Lightsaber kid?
Oh, you had a lightsaber.
No, I did not. I had the Han Solo Kenner gun. Remember that?
Oh, that gun was awesome.
That gun was amazing. It's like the best gun you could buy in a toy. No, I'm
Had the
into Star Wars.
scope on it,
I
you
like
can
Star
look
Wars, but I'm ready to be done with it.
I agree with that sentiment that I kind of want them to complete this and then give it a break for a while. I'm not ready to be done, but I want stuff that's brand new so that there's no frame of reference, so that they can just make their own story and people can't say, oh, well, that's not what happened because of this and this.
I don't
Totally
think
different universe,
though.
totally different people. Give me more, but do it right and take your time. And if it's 5 years from now, that's fine.
And I haven't
keep-
watched any of the Clone Wars stuff. I've not watched any of the TV shows, which are
The TV stuff is actually pretty good. I haven't seen all of it.
Lincoln loves it. He says it's great.
If you
I
have
think
Disney
Clone
Plus-
Wars, I think Rebels, I think all that stuff was done really well. Resistance, even the Resistance cartoon, I've not seen all of it yet, but I've been trying to catch up. It honestly is, in my opinion, much better than the last 5 movies.
I'm just ready for a new thing.
So Rebels, in my opinion, it starts off very kid, but it ramps up the seriousness of the show.
Oh, it grows up
very
quick.
quickly.
Yeah.
It grows up super quick, and it's all canon. It is well worth watching. I mean, it perfectly encapsulates the time between I'm trying to remember. It's right after, well, not right after, but it perfectly encapsulates the time between episode 3 and episode 4. And it's a story of that chunk of time. It's like the Jedi are on the run, the very few that are left. And like it brings back Obi-Wan, and you get to see him as a total badass. You know,
I
and
guess I would like to see an Obi-Wan story on a movie,
Well, that's gonna be a
but,
TV
but
show
I'm
now.
definitely not going to the theaters.
That's
I
gonna
went
be a
to,
TV show, so you won't have to go to the theaters.
That's great. I went to go see Solo in the theater. That was such a letdown. I thought Rogue One was quite good. I liked it,
Rogue One is
but it wasn't like
fast.
the best movie ever.
I am
Rogue One is
Solo.
really weirdly fast approaching like one of my favorite of the Star Wars movies. It's like it might even be better for me. I'd almost rather watch Rogue One over Return of the Jedi, which would normally be like sacrilegious. Because I mean, the original trilogy is my. But I mean, man, Rogue One is just a really solid movie. It's just really well done. It's a perfect one shot. I mean,
I'm
it's
ready
a
for a
perfect
new
one.
Star Wars or a new sci-fi
What
franchise. Something.
What franchise?
I don't
is gonna
know.
come? There just isn't.
There's a million sci-fi books a year. There's got to be
Yes,
something.
okay.
different.
There's a million sci-fi, but there's nothing that will be like Star Wars again. There's nothing that will
God.
like be. Oh my
I
gosh!
want something
Ooh,
adult. I want
so
something adult.
salty. So-
Baldy, those books generally
Look,
you have to order.
Those movies are made to sell merchandise. That's all they are.
That's not wrong.
Come on.
That's not
Man.
wrong.
Somebody.
I mean,
The
George
stories
Lucas
are
made
not-
billions off of the
stories
toys.
are
We
not
have-
deep. It's
we
not a
have
deep
old
story.
Aldi in his old house where he was happy and was
What?
in a good
Don't
mood.
like the truth bombs? I
No.
can't believe you're all like giddy about this movie, Mister. Like
I'm
I am
not-
surprised too.
I
I
am
thought he
more
was
than-
done.
He's totally drinking something tonight. Kool-Aid, I guess.
No,
He's
this is
drinking-
actually
drinking JJ's Kool-Aid.
lemon drop bang, but you know.
I'm excited to see it, and especially excited because I didn't have to pay for it.
Oh, did you finish the eggs, by the way?
Yeah, they're good.
They're really good. Shane is my boss.
Yeah.
He's opening a
Agree.
brewery slash bar in St. Louis, and
He has time for this. He runs
no,
a board
he's-
game company.
oh no, he's making an empire, you know. So I mean,
Oh, so is it going to be like a game cafe?
no, he says it doesn't have anything to do with board games.
Hmm.
Nothing. You know, but anyway, which I find weird. But he's actually
Yeah.
doing it. He wants me to like see if I can come up with a stand, because the way I make my eggs is very loose every single time. But he wants me to come up with like a standard recipe that he could have them make, because he really liked them, and he said so they make them a lot of them and have them for sale at the brewery. And I said, as long as you call them Undead Vikings pickled eggs, so I'm okay with that.
Ah, licensing.
There you go.
Has anybody played the Maracaibo story mode yet?
Yes,
How is
I
it?
have played through 4 chapters,
How many chapters are there?
11, I believe.
Okay.
Although that's not necessarily 11 games, because in a
Oh.
given game you might go through a chapter and a half, depending on how how hard they push to complete
Faster.
quests.
Pay faster.
Or you might, if you don't push hard to complete quests, it might take you a couple games to get through a chapter.
That game's real good, by the way.
Oh, it's real good. It's my number 1.
Of the year.
Yep. At this point, there's a few more games that might supplant it, but I can't imagine
Have you
anything's going to do
played
it.
Cooper Island yet?
Cooper Island is set up in the other room. I played it once at BGG Con with the guy who taught me, so that was very nice, but I really need to play it with Jen, so I'm hoping to play it because I need to get it filmed before the month is up. I liked it a lot, but I don't think it's anywhere near as good as Maracaibo. My problem with Cooper Island was you have to work so hard for such incredibly meager results. And it is satisfying, but it's not empowering, I guess.
Not as satisfying as Maracaibo.
Maracaibo just
There's some satisfying
you
moments.
get to move up to 7 spaces, and it encourages you to do it. You're like
I
going
know.
and doing, and
I was
all
like,
that.
is it good to move 7 spaces? That's what I was like wondering. Like, I just kept zooming around the track, and I was always the first one in.
Yeah, that's what you should be doing. Yeah.
But it's less. I don't know. It doesn't feel right. If you know what I mean.
I love it.
It is good.
Yeah. I'm pretty confident if you're doing that, you are playing it the way it's meant to be played. I know there are probably plenty of people out there like, oh, let's everybody just take one step at a time and very slowly go around. And 4 hours later, they'll have 500-point games. But in that same time, I would have played it 3 times.
Yeah.
shooting for my 120 points.
Another question was, do you feel it's a not knowing the goal cards at the beginning of the game? Like, how they come out in stages? Every turn you reveal a prestige building.
A prestige building.
Yeah, the prestige building. That's sort of annoying.
That has bothered me a lot in some games. But in this game, if I recall correctly, I think there are only 6. And every single one of them is basically going to be rewarding something that you're likely to do. And the last one comes out, that last year, you have plenty of time to pivot to that if you need to. So I've seen it really bad, really, really bad in some games. Here, I wasn't even bothered at all, really.
Okay. I'm just wondering, I guess he made that to stop analysis paralysis.
Yeah. I mean, I'd think there'd be nothing wrong with just having them all revealed right from the get-go. And you're right. It would just be, people would just get way, way, way too analytical.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah, really, really great. Somebody asked me in the chat, had I seen Joel Eddy's top 10 list?
I did. I saw that today.
Why they were mentioning it, but does anybody have any games of the year stuff they want to throw out? Seeing as how this is mostly about games and not
Marvel's going to be in my top 10.
What's that?
Marvel is going to be in my top 10.
Yep, me too.
Oh,
both of them.
Marvel.
Both Marvel games and Jaws would be my top 10.
Marvel was okay. It was fine.
If I could get some of the expansion content and see what they do with it, because if Captain Marvel and Captain America and Miss Marvel play differently enough, the way the starting characters do, and it doesn't feel like it's starting to repeat itself. What I have seen what the Green Goblin stuff does, and that seems really cool. That now there's a villain you're fighting that also has an alter ego that's switching back and forth. That's amazing. And I think that's the biggest strength of that game is just how incredibly well they bring the subject matter together with just a handful of simple rules. If they can continue to push that, it might supplant Makaiba as my game of the year. Right now, it's my number 2.
It's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. I really like it. I really like both of them. Both the minis game and the card game are excellent.
Oh, really?
I have played Captain Marvel I've only played Captain Marvel.
Just repeatedly?
Yeah, and you get a little bored with it.
Mm-hmm.
At least I am. Because I know her tricks, right? Once you know the deck really well, you're just trying to cycle through the deck as fast as you can to get to the tricks.
Mm-hmm.
But
you saying Captain Marvel's turning tricks?
Nah.
Oh man. Yeah.
It's a little play on words there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good. It's a fun game. I like it.
It is.
And it's easy to set up.
It's much faster than Legendary by a billion years.
Yeah, agreed.
Of course, it's not as bloated yet.
Have you played Champions with more than 2?
I've played with 4.
I've played with 4.
Is it too long?
I'd say a little long. I think the sweet spot's 2 and 3.
It goes like a half hour too long.
Yeah, it's like a half hour longer. It's like a 2-hour game with 4 people, 90-minute game with 3 people, 60-minute game with 2. It's like 30 minutes per player. I
could do the math. Yes,
it's
true.
It's good. I think it's really good as a 60 to 90-minute game, but after that, it just drags. You feel like it gets a little repetitive because you're like,
we're gonna win, but we just have to play through it to win.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe some kind of weird. If the nemesis is nemesis, what is the definition of a nemesis? If they come out, then the game gets interesting.
Yeah,
I kind of wish they always came out. But
I think for the most part, I will play it in 2 and 3 player mode. I don't think I will actively go after a 4-player game unless it's just one of those situations where you have 4 people and they want to play it. But I prefer the game 2-3 player. I think just the speed and the quickness of being able to play the game. I'm curious,
have you played a 4-player game with everybody knowing the game?
No, probably not, because I think every time I've done 4-player, we were at least teaching one of the people.
Yeah. And I just wonder if everybody knows it, if it would get past that overstaying its welcome feel.
I think it would, because I think 2 of the games that we played on Tabletop Simulator that we had 4 players actually played pretty quickly, like in under 90 minutes. But that was all 4 of us knowing it. But Tabletop Simulator also takes some of the work out of, shuffling and all that by just
Sure.
So I think I mistook the fact that it was Tabletop Simulator that shrunk it. But I could see 4 really seasoned players that all know what they're doing and have pre-constructed decks ready to go, sitting down and playing in 90 minutes probably. I don't see that as being too far-fetched.
You could shave off like a good 20 minutes, I'm guessing, if people really know the decks.
Yep.
Although Iron Man takes a long time to play.
He does. Iron Man is a slow build.
It's a slow play, like a slow turn, too. Because he's got so many toys, right? I mean, he's got and 10 damage.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the new content. I have played it. Probably. I haven't played the 3rd villain, which I won't spoil, but I played the 2nd one quite a lot. Ready for.
And you have to play Miss Marvel every time.
I've just focused on it just to see how, because then you can play it really well.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, if you've done that, I assume you're changing from protection to leadership to.
Yeah, I've mixed.
How does that change it up?
Oh, quite a lot.
It's quite a lot. And it's going to get even better because these next couple packs are going to have a sprinkling of cards for each of those aspects, which now you're going to be able to test, well, what cards does Captain Marvel or Captain America throw in the protection deck now that you could swap out? It's going to change.
Yeah, I guess that's nice for some people. I'm not excited about that. I like just saying, oh, look, just put this bunch of cards with this bunch of cards.
Well, the decks do come pre-assembled, so you could just pull the deck out of the pack and play it as is and never change it.
Well, no, because what's coming pre-assembled is another one of those, hey, you're supposed to have a 60-card deck, but we're just going to give you the 40-card intro, and then here's this other stuff.
No, it's a fully playable 40. It's a 40-card deck, and then you get extra cards for the other aspects that's not in that deck in case you want to play that hero with other aspects.
If I want to take those new protection cards, I have to, following the official rules, I have to take some protection cards out to swap new ones in, correct?
No, because you can play the rules state you can have a deck 40 to 50 cards. So you could just simply add cards.
You say 250?
It's 40 to 50 is the legal limit.
From 40 to 250.
I'm going to play with all my cards.
Yeah, the deck has to be 40 card minimum, 50 card maximum. So you don't have to swap out, but keeping it at 40 gives you a better chance to get what you want. So,
is that the case?
Yeah, so technically you could just add 10 cards to any deck, and as long as you're under 50, you're fine. You're legal. But the official deck build is 40 to 50 cards.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're playing Protection Spider-Man and you're at 40 cards, but a new card comes out and you want to test it out, you could simply just throw it in your deck and see how it plays, and then maybe throw out cards that you're no longer using. But it's 50 card maximum. But anyone who knows card games knows that when you're trying to get to your good stuff, you make your deck as lean as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly don't begrudge it, giving players the opportunity to start messing with stuff like that. I just, I've built enough decks in Magic to make me never want to have to actually construct. Not deck building. I love Dominion, but deck construction. I have constructed enough decks in my life.
Yeah, I like that part of it.
Just give her protection this time and see what it feels like.
I
know I'm supposed to be picking and choosing and fine tuning the what is it, the basic cards, because you can have 2 or 3 of each. But I'm just like, no, I'll just take 1 of each, thanks. Because it turns out there are 11 in the base box, and I think you're allowed to. Let's see, what is this? 1, 2, 3,
10 probably. If you're doing,
more of them are double.
If you're doing a standard build, it's 15 of your personal cards, 15 of the aspect cards, and then that's 10 neutral cards. That's the typical build.
Okay,
but that's not set in stone. That's just the way the starter decks were built, and the kind of the standard formula is 15, 15, 10 aspect hero pack general or generic cards.
Right. So, and you are correct. Just throwing in an entire protection plus the entire base, I just counted it, it was. Oh, I just lost it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's probably 50 cards.
10,
It's probably the max.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 6, 7, 8, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. And I'm assuming protection has the same number of cards as defense, has the same number of cards as.
They're all very similar. I think there may be 1 or 2
So that's
cards
35.
different.
And there are, I do know because I have counted that there are 11 basic cards. So that means currently this is a Iron Man with Justice is a 46 card deck if you just put in one of the basics. So that means, yes, I could throw in the 4 new
And still be at 50.
and I hit the 50. So yay, I'm happy again. I was really not looking forward to having to start doing deck construction.
Yep. And I believe the new character packs come with deck lists so that you can also just, if you want to try it out in this aspect, it's got the list of cards. You just got to put them together.
Yeah, ironically, I never dig that either. I'm weird. I want stuff random to. I mean, back when I played Magic a million years ago, I played a lot of sealed deck tournaments. I was constantly playing those all the time in Seattle. I actually won one once. Don't
get into MTG Arena then.
What's that?
I got stuck in MTG Arena there for a bit before Essen.
I don't know what that means.
Magic the Gathering.
The software, the app version of Magic that you can play online.
Oh, I see.
It's really well done.
This is the wrong box cover.
What is that? Just a dog running around?
Yeah, Lance has got his dogs running around.
Jesus Christ!
I know. Professional.
Get off my lawn.
Professional YouTuber here.
Played Aquatica.
What'd you think?
I'm like 50-50. I'm going to send it to you. If I don't play it this weekend, I'm probably going to send it to you.
Oh, okay. No, that'll be a very happy surprise for me.
What?
So, Aquatica.
Yes, I heard, but why? What's the?
I don't know. It's okay. It's all right. It's a good game. I think it's fun. It's got a clunky system though. And I could not find this in the rules, but we just played it the way we wanted to play it. You can't consume what you can't use. At least that's from what I've inferred from online.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you overpay for stuff, like you're not really allowed to. You know what I'm talking about?
I haven't played it since August, so I don't remember the particulars.
Yeah, so you have to
on that though.
You're raising the kingdoms, right? You're bringing up the kingdoms. You're getting resources by doing it.
Resources for you, basically.
And you're making resources, and you're using those to buy new cards.
Yeah. We
played that you could just use as many resources as you want, and buy whatever And if you could afford to buy something, you could buy something. But if you needed to score a card, you could just push it all the way down. Or if you needed to flip a manta, we just said you could flip it. I didn't see any rule that you couldn't.
Did you couldn't flip mantas? Yeah.
Well, to make resources that you didn't consume, just to speed it up, the scoring. Right.
Oh. Well.
Did that ever cross your mind? No.
I don't know.
So let's say you're buying a card.
You want to play it again?
Yeah. So let's say you're buying a card and you need to pay 5 gold.
Yes.
And you generate 5 gold, and then you have another tick on the thing that says.
I see.
6 gold.
You're big fat cheaters.
Is that a cheat? I couldn't find it in the rules.
Well, I'm not going to say that.
I know it's not within the spirit.
I only played a prototype of it, but that is certainly against the spirit of the game.
But it seems so natural. All of us just were like, well, can I just push this card all the way to the bottom and score it? I don't care about all the resources.
No, because I mean the clockwork of that game is trying to find ways to be able to efficiently consume multiple levels.
Right. I understand.
I understand what you're saying. You say, oh yeah, can I just consume them and just literally
but it's a race game.
Throw it off to the side, throw it out the side of the boat.
Yeah. It's a bit of a race game.
So. I think that would defeat the purpose. I mean, that would make the game so much easier. Because the purpose of that game is trying to be hyper efficient and looking for ways to say, oh yes, and I'm going to be able to need to consume that too if I want to be able to get a really satisfying, 3-level, and finish the card and score it and all the rest. If you can just do it and throw, I'm not sure.
But if you never have the option to use what some of those resources are, you could never score the card.
Yeah,
or I guess you could raise it. You could raise it. You could use the raise ability, right?
Yeah,
the one that lets you
raise or everything in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and there are plenty of cards that let you. Okay, so I mean, you can't shove a card up without that being an action that you can trigger, though. right?
So the way we played it is you could shove them up and float gold, and then basically buy the card.
As I recall, it's a
The rules are
discrete
very
action you
light.
have to take to be able to shove them up to get the resources.
Yeah.
You can't say, "Oh, look, I need to buy this card. Hey, this thing needs more shoving. I'll just shove it up so I have the resources." You can't shove it up unless you have another card that says, "Hey, shove up a card, get the stuff out of it to be able to pay for this third card." I think you might be
maybe we totally misplayed it then. I need to watch it run through.
Oh yeah, you can't just shove it
it
up whenever you feel like it. You can only do that when a card tells you to do it.
Oh, really?
Yes, you played it way wrong.
Oh man. All right.
Don't send it to Pete yet. Sorry, Pete.
All right.
Damn you, Richard.
Honestly, that may make it worse though, Pete. That may make. I mean, I think it's a fine game.
Yeah.
At least the way we played it, but I never used my my king special power either. I felt weird about that.
King Humperdinck or whatever their crazy names were.
I forget his name.
Royalty.
But he had like 4 actions, and I could never like time it right to get any use out of it.
Yeah. It's a very good game. I think at this point it's just missing my top 10. I'm not sure. Yeah. But I really liked it a lot.
Did you play any of the other Cosmodrome games?
I played that one, and I played the Golems. Time passing. I can't think of the name of it, but it's like Laputa Castle in the Sky.
Yeah.
From the designer of Smartphone Inc. And I can remember everything about it except for the name of the game. And now you can't either.
No, because it's sitting right there. I just like it's right there. Yep. I don't remember.
Oh, that's driving me nuts. Now I got to look it up. Which means I have to look up Smartphone and then look up the designer. I played that one. I liked it, but I played a really rough prototype of it, and the rules were terrible. So Jen and I had kind of a hard time muscling out. Skytopia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had kind of a hard time muscling our way through it, but and so I never actually saw the final version. I would definitely like to play the final version, but I wasn't quite sure how I felt about it because the prototype. I mean, several of the rules I read literally made no sense, and I just had to take my best guess. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned that in the rules. Please bear in mind, I could be playing this game totally wrong because these rules are crazy.
That's another. I mean, it's so frustrating to get these rule books when there's a community of people out there that would gladly look over the rule book.
This game right here, Steamopolis, was available, German only. Oh, the game is completely language independent, but heavy rules. And only available in German. A bunch of people picked it up. So far, they have translated to English only 2/3 of the rule book. Pages 1 through 25. Pages 26 to 40, they have not translated yet. And people who picked it up are complaining on Board Game Geek, I don't know what this thing is and how you're supposed to play the solo game and all this stuff is missing. They sent me a copy so I can film it. And I'm like, dudes, I need to know this stuff. And the best I could get out of them was they actually sent me a Word document of the original German rule book so that I could run it through Google Translate so I could translate it for myself. And I asked, what is going on? Why did you stop at page 25? And said, oh, our translator, we lost him. We're trying to find another translator to get it done. And I'm like, post this thing to Board Game Geek. You will have it translated for free in less than a week to a higher level of quality than any translator you will hire.
Yeah.
And why don't they do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I should know because I told them that and they never replied.
The Aquatico rulebook was infuriating. The Aquatico rulebook was infuriating.
Oh, the final one is?
Yeah, typos and just the wrong use of it's just bad.
It just makes no sense. I mean, you have such an insane resource on your site that
maybe they just don't feel comfortable doing it. I don't know.
Because why?
Well, if they're not native English speakers, they don't know if they can trust the translation. I mean, you're putting professional work out by amateurs that you're assuming are telling you the truth, but there are always jerks that could post comments and say stuff that's.
I guess that's true, but the wisdom of the crowd will take care of that, I think.
You would think, but maybe it's not worth them risking.
Yeah, but I mean, they put it up. I mean, it just goes through multiple revisions.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to be able to get a concerted effort of 20 people all independently deciding, yeah, let's fuck with the Russians and not tell them.
Most people in the board game world are trustworthy, and people
Yeah.
want the best, right? We're all in this together.
Yeah, and I know there are people who will volunteer to do this. I did it a million years ago.
I did it too.
volunteered to German translate Helvetia. It's why I ended up filming the video for it, my first video ever, because I had translated English rules that I worked on because it wasn't available at the time. And I guess it's just a control thing. Publishers don't want to give up that control, and they'd rather pay somebody who doesn't even know anything about. I mean, the number of times you get a rule book where it was clearly translated by people who do not understand the incredible importance of may versus will. You know, I mean, that's everything in a board game. Where you must do it or you can do it.
Yeah.
Drives you nuts.
Yep. By the way, Pete, I love Cthulhu.
Yeah, I played it yesterday, and I really enjoyed it as well.
It's really fun.
Inside information on Project Elite. Go.
It's fulfilling in 2020, early 2020. So it'll be one of not the next Kickstarter we fulfill, but it's in queue for like the next two or three projects. So it'll be fulfilling sometime between now and probably Origins. So it'll be coming out soon.
That doesn't feel very inside.
Well, that's as much as I can give you until it actually hits our warehouse. I can't give you much more than that because it's not here yet. But I know that the next in queue we finished Death May Die, or we're still finishing the tail end of Death May Die. We got Blood Rage Digital, Starcadia Quest, and then Project Elite. But Blood Rage Digital is a very small campaign. It's Starcadia Quest, comparatively to our other campaigns, is a smaller campaign. So it'll be
digital.
Yeah.
Wait. Blood Rage Digital. You're not doing that in-house, right? You've hired.
Yeah, that's ours.
That's
ours. Well, yeah, we have a company doing the app stuff, but we did all the physical product for the physical Viking Pledge, which is more of the original stretch goals with different sculpts and all that stuff. So there is more content for Blood Rage in the physical portion of that pledge, but the digital stuff's being done through a different company. Yeah, but we're still in charge of it. It's still our project. So
yeah. Okay, now inside stuff about Tabula thingy.
Tabaru, nothing else other than what we talked about at Gen Con. There's no new news on that other than they're still developing and working on it, and they're trying to, get more content for it so that when we launch the Kickstarter, there'll be more substance to it. But that's it. That's all I can say on that.
Are you having having a hard time? Are you getting resistance from developers?
No, not at all.
You're mostly is it does not Simon come on is come on subsidizing the development? Like if you really want to pick up, I don't know, Marvel Champions, if Asmodee would actually deign to put Marvel Champions on that platform, well, no, how would they do that? They couldn't. You can't RF.
I mean, it's not miniatures game. It'd be
but the Marvel miniatures one. Yeah, if they were doing that, is your platform such that they have to develop the content, or do you provide tools? Do they?
I believe
you as a developer or your third-party developer to do it.
No, I believe the company that designed the Tabaru will work hand in hand with them to make it Tabaru compatible, but there's work on both ends, I believe.
Okay.
They wanted it to be an open system when I talked about it.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I was.
There are certain games that will be an easy fit and won't require a lot of work. There will be games that maybe don't fit the system very well, and that's probably a lot of where the give and take will come in as far as what games make that system and what don't.
Hey, Richard.
Yeah.
Just so you know, they did post just recently that they the English rules for Steamopolis will be uploaded later this week.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I feel like a chump. I spent the big part of probably 2 or 3 hours trying to deal with my Google Translate translated German to understand how the fucking, because there's a co-op mode and all kinds of stuff.
Is that game good?
I
didn't even hear about that game.
It's very the engine engine building is really, really clever, really neat. I like that a lot, and I like the setting. My only real problem is, you end up getting all these tiles that you install on your airship, and these become the engine that you're trying to run while doing your worker placement and whatnot. And the tiles are all pretty boring. They're get a resource, or get 2 of those resources, or get an extra point when you do a thing that you were going to do anyway. I'm really kind of missing, the stuff that at no point does the rule book ever have to say, please bear in mind that if you find any components that are differ from these rules, the components take priority. They never have to say that because they're not pushing any. They're not pushing their system and doing cool stuff with it. It's an amazing system that's incredibly clever to basically just harvest resources and convert them into points in a pretty straightforward way, which I'm kind of bummed by that. And so I hope they do a expansion where they put really cool powers on these engine pieces rather than, well, flip that tile. Or I'm just looking at the ones that are in front of me. They're all just more the same. Get 2 points every time you run this piece. That's be exciting.
I find like more and more games are just lots of glitz but uninspired, like mechanisms, if you will. Like I've been down this road before.
Yeah.
And it's just
about this. Have you played it?
Oh yeah. I played it in Germany.
Okay.
The actual like dude that was running the like weird booth that Steamopolis was at, which was really weird because it was like half like a store, like you would expect, if a board game store had bought a booth at Essen. So it was kind of that where they were selling like all kinds of games, like from all kinds of publishers, and then they had this one little spot off to the side where this guy was showing off Steamopolis. And so and he wasn't German. If I remember, he was Czechoslovakian.
Okay.
And he actually, me and him, we played it together, and and I liked it. But I was also like, okay, I've been down this road before.
Well, I really like this. The idea that I'm building up Steam, and now I use the Steam for basically worker placement, but it can also run my engine at the same time. That's really, really cool. It's just that the engine itself doesn't do anything cool.
Yeah. That's a game that 5 years ago it would have been on everybody's top 10 list.
Yeah.
At the end of the year. Now it's just kind of like, okay, that was neat. Moving on. So I want to say this. We're going back to our spoiler discussion about what we had. I so rarely remember, like Wednesdays is the day I remember to go back to Board Game Geek and check my notifications. And just because I'm a person who loves watching slow car wrecks, I subscribe to the complaint forum just because I love to see like who takes the time to find the complaint area in the forum, which Scott has purposely placed in like the most remote corner. Of
wait till you see the new front page.
But so it says somebody posted a note that said urgent. Quickest way to contact a BGG admin. I was like, all right, I'll bite. So quick. Hello. Someone, and this was today at 7:40. Oh no, it posted at 6:53 p.m. Today. Hello. Someone is posting Rise of Skywalker stuff on RSP, and it should not be on there, but on Chit Chat. I am trying to avoid any spoilers from this movie and tried to alert an admin over 2 hours ago, and it's still there. I think everyone can appreciate how much these movies mean to people, and some people like me are trying to avoid any spoilers at all, which is why I'm also avoiding the Chit Chat board, knowing that some inconsiderate person is going to post a spoiler. It doesn't even matter if the spoiler is wrong. The damage is done. I do not want to know anything about this movie whatsoever. I don't care if you liked it, didn't like it. I don't want to know. Can someone please remove that post from RSP? Thank you for your time.
When you say RSP, you're talking religion, sex, politics, right?
Yes. And so Trey Chambers, who is still a rabid person on the old forums, who it's like, because I barely post ever. Urgent. I'm not sure that word means what you think it means. and then it spiraled down from there. Just don't click on it. Yes, but it shouldn't be there in the first place. Isn't that the point of separating the boards according to interesting categories? Just hit the red X and list others to do the same. I did. It's been over 2 hours. And then, of course, Trey Chambers, 2 hours? Don't they know that this is urgent?
Trey Chambers, my greatest nemesis in the industry.
Really?
That guy, fucking asshole.
Oh, jeez.
Who?
If I ran into him at a convention, I would turn around and walk the other way.
Really?
Yes,
Who?
he is a dick on
Who?
Board Game Geek. Well, I'm not supposed to talk about that, so I'll stop.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Trey Chambers, designer of
Yeah,
Harvest?
I know him.
Encore? No, not Encore.
No, the
There's
Level
the level
99
99 stuff, but I was thinking of the TMG game.
yeah,
The
it's
Harvest. He
Harvest,
designed
thank you,
Harvest.
yes.
I
Which
really
was
like
It was
Harvest.
a good little game. I liked it.
No, it's weird. Every time I've spoken with him, he's been fairly.
Oh,
He's an antagonizer on
yeah. Thank you. That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
And he antagonized the fuck out of me.
I don't know if
that
here's the
guy.
thing. I don't know if people realize what they're doing.
Oh, he just thought he was being clever and funny.
I've met and talked with Trey. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Wound style. Look, dude, this is what you're saying to me. This is how it makes me feel. Could you please, try to treat me
Differently.
as your equal? And he's like, I don't even need to, and he went from there to saying how he was a better designer than Stefan Feld. And I'm like, okay, fuck you. I'm done with you. I never want to see you again on this site. So if I see him pop up, I just walk the other way.
The line from
That he has instigated an asshole flame on complaints. No surprise there at fucking all.
well, the response was he's like after he made his like little jokey jokes, he says, "Here's my real, honest to God, helpful advice for the poster. If you don't want to hear anything about Rise of the Skywalker, stay the heck off the internet until you see it. It's everywhere. It's unavoidable. Also, there wasn't any spoilers in that RSP thread, so like this is all just silly." And the person said, "Wow, you're just missing the point entirely. The point is I should be able to enjoy BGG and avoid boards like Chit Chat. Isn't that the point of the categories? I alerted them hours ago. They've done nothing, so obviously they don't care. Oh well. If they're doing nothing now, wait until the movie comes out and someone ruins it. There will be some serious radioactive meltdowns going on by other members here. You've been warned." And then like literally like the next like
People don't realize how small our company is.
what?
Do you think you get a response within 2 hours of like at 7 p.m. on a?
I'm not saying the OP is correct, but I am saying
I'm just saying
like dismissing him as being silly. That didn't help anything.
There were like then several posts that had been removed by moderation.
Good job for moderation. By the way, Aldi, I want to say high five. You have definitely made the site a much more
I appreciate that
experience. I could almost feel safe going back to General
Gaming.
Yeah, which I swore off a year ago, right around the same time as I said goodbye to Reddit. It's interesting to me because you've talked about this before, that it's really like a sea change for you personally, because you had more of the, hey, this is a free open channel communication. People should be able to say what they want and they'll work it out to, okay, let's just shut this shit down.
Yeah. I have like this egalitarian like heartbleed thing, like I want everybody to be able to say what they want to say, but it just boils down to like too much vitriol.
Yeah. And I should say, I know Trey Chambers in real life is probably a sweet, charming guy.
Every time I met him in real life, he was totally nice.
Yeah, I totally believe that. I totally believe that he also does not have an idea or any sort of understanding of what the impact of his words are when he
That's
just
what
somebody
that's what I was
feels
saying.
very deeply about something and says, well, frankly, you're just being silly. And how that is so ridiculously triggering for no reason. And he just does that all the time. And he did it to me on something that I felt very passionate about. And I was just like, ugh. But I don't think he broke any rules doing it. So, because he was, I mean, I don't know. Is it antagonizing to dismiss somebody as being silly when they feel very passionately about something? To me, it is, because I wouldn't do that to somebody in real life. I don't believe Trey would do that in real life. And I believe he's a younger guy. He kind of grew up with the internet. And maybe I should just get these kids off my lawn, because I grew up in a world where all of these things were resolved in person. And that's the way I treat the internet. No, sorry. I didn't mean to go off on the Trey Chambers
No, no, and that's fine. I mean, like I said, I think the guy's design. I'm really looking forward to his train game. The
Imperium something or other.
yeah, the one that mixes train game with magic. I'm really looking forward
Imperial
to playing that.
something like
Yeah.
that. At one point, I was too.
Well, on that note, I am going to part because I have to drive to Atlanta tomorrow for 2 days in the office. So,
Are you gonna go visit the Coke factory?
no, I've been there enough times. No, I'm going
Oh,
to do
really?
a couple.
See, I've always wanted to go to that. I've always wanted to go and
The
take a
aquarium
tour.
and the Coke factory are awesome, but no, I'm only there for 2 days. I'll spend 1 day in the office with everybody, just catching up, and then the Friday we're going to see Star Wars, and then having our holiday lunch Christmas party, and then I'm heading home. So it's a quick trip. I'll only be there like 36 hours, and half of it'll be in a movie theater and playing games and stuff. So nope. No sightseeing. I've done Atlanta enough times that I don't need to go see that stuff.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Well, safe travels. You don't have to worry about snow
And
there, apparently.
Since our next boom will be after Christmas or on Christmas, maybe.
Well, like I said, maybe I'll just put on my Santa outfit and do it by myself on Christmas
No, please
Day.
don't.
I didn't say birthday outfit. I said
Have a happy
Santa
holidays.
outfit.
Have a safe
Right.
holidays, and most likely see you all in 2 weeks. But if not,
Are you
maybe-
expecting any board games for Christmas?
No, I don't think so.
I'm almost
Because the ones I
positive
want
have one.
aren't available. I pretty much bought all the new stuff except for the stuff from Essen that I couldn't get. So the Star Wars Dark Force Rising, the Aquatica, Suburbia Collector's Edition, which I think is just releasing now, but it's too late to get it for Christmas because most people have shopped already. So no, the couple things I wanted from Essen, I don't think I'll be getting for Christmas. So no, probably not many board games. If anything, there may be a few expansions for like Legion or something under the tree, but other than that, I don't expect to get any video or any board games for Christmas.
Fair enough.
Which is okay. I mean, some years are better than others. This year, I just happen to own pretty much all the stuff except for the unreleased stuff, which no one would be able to buy me because it's not out yet. So yeah, not a big year for board games. This will be a big year probably for tech stuff.
Sweaters.
Huh?
Sweaters.
No sweaters.
Tech sweaters.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah. New phone, new iPad, new computer, new.
Yeah, not for me. I got my wife got me
What
a
are you
new
getting
phone.
for your wife for Christmas?
What did I get my wife for Christmas?
If
I
you
bought
can-
her a new iPhone 11 Pro Max.
Oh wow. Whoa.
Wow.
Big spender.
Yeah.
Well, she bought me a
Nice.
iPhone Pro Max for our anniversary because my phone was starting to go, and her phone has started to go in the last few weeks. But she kept saying, "No, I'll just wait to upgrade," because our account we're due for upgrade, so it's not big spender. It's like $30 a month for like however many months, and you can
They
pay it
lock
off
you
early.
in. Yeah.
So I just went and changed the email address on the account to my email address so she wouldn't get notification, and went to AT&T and got her the phone. So so she'll have the new phone coming in under the tree, and I'll be paying for it for her a little bit. But no, that's the big gift. My daughter got an iPad. My wife got a phone. I will get socks and underwear and maybe some cool shark stuff.
Yeah, I bet you're pretty easy.
I am easy to buy for because I don't need much. I buy what I want.
Easy
So
like Sunday
I get
morning.
I get a couple cool things maybe that I didn't know about, but yeah, Christmas is kind of more for me is more about taking care of the family. I don't really even ask for a whole lot of stuff, and just I'm pretty good about getting what I want. My wife never hardly tells me no, so at this point, I'd just rather see everyone else have a good holiday and get it over with. So
Fair enough.
It is all good. I like I said, my Christmas gift to me was Marvel Crisis Protocol and Champions. So I've been very happy with that. If I didn't get anything this year, I'd be completely content because I've been loving those games. So
enjoy your Christmas, sir.
Yep. Everyone enjoy your Christmas. Be safe. Don't be stupid on New Year's, and hopefully we'll see you New Year's Day Eve for a recap, a very exciting
Spoiler cast.
episode of the Alaboom where we talk about Star Wars, the Rise of the Skywalkers.
The last of the Alabooms.
It could very well be the end of the
Calm it up.
Alaboom after this. If this movie doesn't go well, it could very well be. But all right,
Oh, it's gonna be-
everyone, take care. I'll
cannot
talk to you
wait. I
all in a
cannot
couple
wait.
weeks.
Very
There,
good.
All right.
there is
Peace.
no chance this movie's going to redeem itself.
Oh
Well,
no.
there's nothing it can do. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what could it possibly do to make everybody happy?
God. Nothing.
It can't.
No, because they've written themselves into some bad storyline.
Well,
At least from my perspective.
yes.
Yeah, they did. They totally ruined Star Wars with the last movie, and
Mhm.
then now they have to try to save it.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
all agree on
I
that.
almost entirely agree with that sentence.
Yes, exactly. You entirely agree. I entirely agree.
Clauses to say they finally saved it, and now they're probably going to ruin it. Oh, where'd he go? Get the dog?
Trying to get this thing off my screen, but I can't.
Nope.
Well, it won't
You
go.
are the Alaboom. So, how's the house?
It's lovely.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. We moved into a very nice house. Yeah, I love it. It's a lot bigger. I have a big office, a lot more space to move around, a lot more space to do stuff. So,
Like what?
nice.
What kind of stuff do you need to do?
I don't know. It's when you spend 10 hours in a place, like I just felt like like I'm trapped in like a box. My previous office was just like a very small. It was almost like a spare bedroom kind of off. It was like study / spare bedroom.
Yeah.
It was not made to be an office, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
So it was like more like a den, you know. And then I had bookshelves on it, which made it even more enclosed. I don't know. It's just a more.
So what are you doing? You're sitting in there for 10 hours. I assume it's back-end coding for the site predominantly, right?
God, I wish. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Running
You
a
got
company,
too far away
Richard.
from it? You're too big. You can't. You have to have people do all that now.
You
You have too much administration stuff.
it's just it's just always something.
Yeah.
It's always something. Like today,
Okay.
we actually brought on a new programmer, and we're getting him up to speed. So 5 hours straight of here's how you get the site to run on your computer for development. That's just one day.
Okay. What was yesterday?
What did I do yesterday?
This new programmer. That's kind of an outlier.
So we've
Or I guess is your point? Every day is an outlier.
almost every day is an outlier now. I don't know. It's a little bit hard to get stuff done. We've been getting a ton of researcher reports from internet researchers finding bugs on the site. Like not bugs that are just like, oh, it doesn't work right, but like exploits.
Oh, I see. This is
After 20 years, we thought, yeah, they
You-
basically,
Oh,
Yeah.
have you contacted Robert Redford and River Phoenix?
yeah,
So you could hack into your site?
Yeah,
They're the best
exactly.
hackers ever?
they're all over the place, man. They constantly run these tools all day long.
Oh, so they're just doing it anyway, and they come to you and say, "Hey, would you like this information?"
Yeah,
Wow.
we pay,
Lance
pay-
Bauer
we
would
pay
like
for
to
it.
get in. Or
we
you're-
pay for it.
Cool.
In fact, I just paid $600 for one bug.
And was it a good one? Was it worth it?
Oh, believe me, you would have been fucked if you had run into it. Like, not even kidding, it was bad.
Wow.
Like hack your computer bad.
Oh, you mean like reach through Board Game Geek to fuck with my computer kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And how long had it been there?
Forever.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Well, that's $600 well spent, I guess.
It's, believe me, I was happy to write that check. I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, when it's called stored XSS. Like if you just Google stored stored XSS level 1, they're bad.
Meaning that's a group?
It's a type of bug that happens on.
Oh,
websites.
okay. It's a class of. All right.
Yeah, it's a class of bugs. There's like a classification of them. Sometimes they're self, sometimes they're public, sometimes they're stored. Stored means I could send you to that webpage and I'd basically own your computer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Same.
Or I would own your account.
Okay.
Maybe own your computer, depending on how you have it set up.
Do I need to go in and
I,
take references on the site?
No.
So we're gonna go into full honesty mode here,
Uh-oh.
which is
Oh,
I
no.
know very well about those bugs. I, in fact, have to keep my password written down right over here because I was on a website that contained some pornographic images.
What? You teach children, you monster!
Yeah, I clicked on a link that said I might have been in some trouble because the websites that I was clicking on to do, like, I thought it was McAfee or whatever, telling me to
and then
screw
you
it up.
installed it, and you installed their thing. Oh
So
shit!
then I had to
It was a moment of weakness. You just weren't paying. And oh yeah, that sounds bad. I guess I should.
Did you install? Did you accidentally install WannaCry?
I don't know what it was, but they had complete control over my computer, and they contacted me about fixing it. And I talked to a bunch of people, including a guy named Jason Blaine and Brian Adams, and then one named Garth Brooks. And that's when I started to realize that all their names were fake as hell.
Wait, which one? Which was the one that clued you in?
No, but it actually had a happy ending because I was like, all right, is there any chance that you could give me back control of my computer so I can check my accounts to make sure, I got enough money to pay for this? And when he got me back control of the computer, I shut it completely off. And then I used the temporary password that he'd given me because they're like, we can give you temporary access to access this so you can check your account to pay us. So he gave me that temporary password. So if I ever lose this little sheet of paper, I'm completely hosed.
Wait. Whoa. Hold on, man. Wait.
So I was not able to access.
Man, you're in the Matrix.
Oh my god.
I'm sure my computer is absolutely littered. You saw how much
Did you install anything?
I don't know. I don't know how to check.
All right, unplug this computer, pull the hard drive off, start over.
I don't even know how to do any of that. Really? It's been a couple years, and
don't do any banking on that computer.
I've done so much banking and everything.
Oh my god, you're killing me, dude. So much Are you for real? You're lying.
I'm totally serious. After that, I did run like some virus scans and stuff. I even paid for a year of virus scans, like a virus scan.
But if they got you to install PC Anywhere or something like that, did they get you to install that?
They had control of my computer.
Yeah, so they made you installed PC
and they contacted you with just like a pop-up on your machine saying, "Hi, we've got your computer. You want it back, bitch?" kind of a thing, or what happened?
No, this was that I had clicked on a pornographic ad and that my computer was at risk of getting shut down or based on the thing, and it would like fry my hard drive, and I fell for it.
That's not possible.
I don't know any of this stuff.
Oh my god, you're great. I wish you could. I really wish you would have recorded all that.
You are the reason. You are the reason why
there are people that do that stuff.
So here's what you got to do. First of all, when you use that computer, what computer are you using now?
This is my home computer.
All
this is on my home computer.
So how are you online right now?
It's hard jacked.
Hardwired.
Okay.
Hardwired.
Ethernet.
Yeah.
So
I have the direct cord.
I gotta know. So your computer then, you're just
run
gonna
Internet Explorer.
You're going to seriously. What you're gonna have to do is you're just gonna have to you'll boot up your computer off of the like have it not connected to the internet in any way, shape, or form. So whatever little bug is pinging their thing, they won't. And then I'm gonna know.
They've gotten all the information they could have possibly wanted.
Can you just reinstall your Windows?
Yeah, he's gonna have to find his Windows disk. But the first thing you're gonna have to do is probably just buy a brand new hard drive, and then
format. Yeah, format.
Well, sometimes format doesn't even do the trick.
Forrest is not made of money, guys.
This was years ago. They literally have everything.
But wait, you still have the piece of paper?
Yes, because I still have the piece of password.
So you got contacted by these guys, and they told you, "Look, we are holding your computer hostage."
No. They said that there's a crucial bug on here that's locked it out so that only we can get into it.
Oh, so they contacted you as like, "Hi, we're calling from Microtalk Tech Support."
Those
types of phone calls?
I thought that I was solving the issue when I talked to them until they asked for an order.
Okay, first of all, I admire the fact that you're actually telling this story. I admire the fact that you're being honest.
But I mean, people do. so that other people that this happened to don't
They
feel
know.
you know
Yeah.
embarrassed. 'Cause this can happen. This is human.
Oh no, my stepfather installed some crazy shit like that one time.
Yeah, this was a multi-day
It does the
process.
pop up and it says your computer is at risk. Click here to clear the virus, and you basically install their malware. And
Yeah, you
takes
just
over
don't
your
think
system.
twice about it. It looks legitimate. You're not. You're thinking about something else. You're like, oh, I guess I should do that, and boom, they got you.
I was thinking about porn.
Yeah, yeah.
It said you visited a website that contained blah blah blah.
So
And you're like, yeah, I
Oh my
did.
God.
did you
You're
actually
lucky you have a
call
bank
on
account.
the phone?
This was over multiple days. I'm very good at being persuasive on the phone by trying to I was like, can I get your associate number and stuff like this? I'm not sure my password, but yeah.
Yeah, cover that up.
I covered the password.
Will you install? Will you use LastPass instead of writing passwords down on paper for me?
Well, no, let's wait and get to the part where the paper comes in. So they are presenting themselves as a network solution provider to help you fix your computer. You're talking to them on the phone, and at some point you realize, okay, these guys are scam artists.
Yes.
You don't let them know that you know that.
No, you never do.
Right. So, and you didn't. And instead you said, well, look, I understand I need to pay this, my $100 or whatever it is. Can you do something for me just to let me get in temporarily? At this point, you're talking to scammers. So you're starting to scam the scammers.
I'm trying to get my shit back. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And they give you some limited access password, which you use to get online, and then you yank the cable from the wall.
Yes.
So, and now what is the state of your machine? Because you have
to use that password to log in every single time before I get. So there's the Microsoft login that comes at the beginning, but there's an additional password that pops up where I have to type in the 4-number passcode.
Oh, so the malware is still installed on your computer.
Yeah, I guess.
Please format your computer, reinstall Windows.
I got all my pictures of my kids and stuff on here. I don't want to lose it all.
You can get unlimited storage for video and pictures on Google Drive.
Yeah, I mean,
upload it.
I think I have unlimited storage on Google. They charge me, what is it, $1.50
a year?
Yeah, it's like $1.50 a month, and it's like 1,000 gigs.
We understand that. I'm surprised that you're not the most technical of guys. I would have thought you were, quite frankly, because you put on a good show.
I am not surprised at all.
Okay. Do you know anybody in town? Do you have any friends who are technically savvy?
How long have you had my
brother-in-law.
How long have you had the malware?
You got to bring your brother-in-law down there.
It has been years. It has been probably 2 to 3 years.
Well, time out. Wait a minute. Time out. So, didn't this just recently happen?
No, this is 2 to 3 years ago. I've been typing that password in forever. That's why I said
what program is it?
Everything.
You got that limited access password. What does that password let you do now? Do you have full access to your machine?
Only if I have that password.
Right.
I can't do anything without the password. That's what I convinced them to give me.
And did you ever talk to them again?
Oh, Cheech.
Did you ever
years ago? I have no idea how to reach them.
Okay, so they were calling you.
Yes, they called me after I entered some information, if I recall correctly, about the porn pop-up that came about.
Yeah.
Hey, can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Just bring up your task manager and start reading off what you got running.
Do you just want me to screenshot?
Yes, actually screenshot it. Screenshot it.
Or you can just put it up as the
screenshot. Yeah, I want to actually see what this is.
Oh God.
What is
this? Are you using the computer right now that has
this?
It's been years, dude.
It's been years, dude. You're on an iPad.
Well, I can't upload videos on my iPad because the videos are too long. Yeah. So when I do short videos, I can do it, but for the long videos, I have to use this computer. All right, task manager. It takes a minute for anything on my computer to happen.
Yep. I mean, right. I assume at this point in your life, you probably use that computer very little, right?
Only for videos and just casual searches. Yeah, I'm using 100% of my CPU right now. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, if you pop it up, I can
do
show
your
you.
Screen share? I'm very, very curious.
I can understand why. For you, this is like, wow.
Oh, this is gold.
Deep, dark underbelly.
Yeah,
like a real.
Believe me, I want to know what they're running on your machine. They're probably monitoring you.
They're monitoring all of us, except we're broadcasting.
Although they're probably long gone. They're probably busted.
Did that work?
Lance has to do it, I think.
Yeah, Lance has to push a button. There you go.
Oh, what the fuck? I saw something
that a
about
lot?
No, wait, actually,
You,
click on the 100% so that it or the name. Sorry, click on the name so it doesn't swap.
Can we start a GoFundMe to get Forrest a new computer?
Forrest had one lucky break. He got that fantasy football money. He bought a minivan, and ever since then, he's been.
I've had good. I live a good life.
What is
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you had your Dorito break too.
What is Pivot software support? You ever see that Pivot? Do you know what that is?
I don't know what any of these are except for like.
Do you know what Google Chrome is?
Oh, we know what Google. All right, scroll down.
How do you see this full screen, Aldi? It's way too low res for me to read.
Well, I don't know. It's coming up on mine.
This is absolutely ridiculous, dude.
Do
my
you
God.
guys not have this much stuff going?
No.
I can keep scrolling too.
Yeah, I want to see. Like, oh, you got Discord running. Okay.
Like, out of curiosity, I was like, I'll open up my task manager.
CC Cleaner has been hacked. I think it was hacked like a year ago.
Oh, that's what I used. Yeah, that was one of the things I used to clean up the.
Yeah, that one actually got hacked a year ago, I believe.
All right. Well,
you may want to. That's probably how they got in on you.
Windows Pro.
Kabuki Big Kid says you're a Bitcoin zombie and you don't even know it.
Yeah, probably so.
That's the best case scenario, to be honest with you. Really,
You don't make the money.
Is that? Do you want to see any more of this? None of the stuff means legit anything.
Click on.
Kabuki Kid points out the hackers have seen our secret chat channel. Oh,
now we're dead.
What am I clicking on, Aldi?
Click on app history, like at the top. It's at the top. It's at the top. 3D Builder. You got a lot of stuff on here, but
well, you can have a lot of stuff just by having a computer that you've run day in and day out for 10 years.
Yeah.
And stuff just builds up.
Yeah. I want to know what he has to type. Where do you type the password in? Like when you like what pops up? Like what is it?
If you want, I'll reboot it since you're fascinated with it. I'll reboot it and I'll record it on my iPad so I can show it to you.
Yeah, please do. I want to see.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I want to see what they have on you.
8 minutes, but I'll be back.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate it. I want to help you, dude.
Hey, yeah. If you can help me get rid of something on
here,
I
want to help you. But we also find this kind of grimly fascinating in a forensics CSI.
Grimly. I mean, at one point, one half of me is like, "This is stunning," but the other half of me is like, "Yeah, well, what else? It's Forrest." You know, it's just like.
But it's amazing that you've been doing it for 3 years.
It's Cheech, right? I mean, it's just like at this point, nothing Cheech does or has to the hoops that he has to jump through like stun me.
This is a much happier story than me trying to help my mother-in-law, and she was getting the calls from India saying, "We're sorry, ma'am. You'll have to let us do this and that and the other."
Yeah, No, I mean it's happened to me a few times, and I would just, the thing is like you get that weird pop up, and it's just like, and it was mostly after my wife had used my computer, that's one thing that you want, and I would just be like, why is my computer all screwed up? And then I would just have to yank. I would. That was back when I actually started. Like I would have 2 hard drives, and one of them would be my operating system, and everything else would be in the other one. Because all of those hacks they'd install them on the C drive, and so I just wiped my C drive because all it was my operating system, and then I just put I must have put Windows XP back on my C drive half a dozen times because of stuff like that. Just wipe it out, put it back on. Yeah. Yeah, like Maui Chris, beyond malware, there was a bore load of crapware on that poor box. We gotta set up a GoFundMe. We could buy him a so much better computer for like $600.
From the sound of it, he would have no idea how to get his pictures off, which is probably the only thing he cares about with that computer. Now, all he has to do is install OneDrive or
he could just upload the Google Drive
or anything like that. Point it to the directory and let it go for a day.
Yeah, he could upload that entire thing up to a Google Drive. It would take forever.
Yep.
But I mean, it would be done,
Just,
and then
he doesn't have the skills to do that, which I totally understand. I've had to do.
I get it, but I could walk him through it in like, I could walk. Any one of us could walk him through the process over the phone, and just be like. But let's be honest. Do you think he still even has his operating system disks?
No, of course not.
No, he doesn't.
If he ever even did. I mean, he might have bought that machine used, or the OEM discs were of questionable sources, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh my God, yeah. It's like his CPU is running at 100%. I mean, I was like, I was out of curiosity, what is my computer running at right now? I was like, I booted up. I have like, it's like 16%. And it was.
Well, he was running 1 million Chrome tabs.
Yeah.
Oh, Cheech.
I love that he social engineered them to get whatever password for whatever malware they put on his system.
Yep.
That's amazing. I love it.
I know. He had a special power. He had a superpower in that circumstance too. It wasn't technically based. It was human to human based, and he leveraged it, and he's been able to go on with his life, and that's commendable, I think.
There's a YouTube channel of a guy who basically gets the hackers, like he turns the table on them.
Let me give you an example of my, what was it? Last week I went off on a Yang rant, and Forrest asked me it would be okay if he pulled a bit of that video because he wanted to be able to share it with family or something like that, because I talked a lot about him. I said, sure, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. And he contacted me a couple days later saying, yeah, I just couldn't figure out how to do it because he was trying to use his iPad to direct capture live play of YouTube to his iPad where he does all his editing. And I'm like, dude, there's a million websites that'll let you download any YouTube video you want for free and just turn it into an MP4. And he's like, I did not know that. So we just expect a young guy to be relatively tech savvy, and apparently Forrest isn't. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Other focuses.
He's savvy about other things. He's Dorito savvy.
He is. I've always been impressed by Forrest's side hustles. No, I mean, and I've been there when so there's people that like I hate to say School of Hard Knocks. No, I hate to say School of Hard Knocks, but I mean it's one of those things where Forrest has been around and had to like struggle for life and stuff like that. So when I see him talking to publishers, and it's like so here, this is if you ever wanted to be a person that's making board game media, or just I'm sure this would work for any type of media that you're reviewing or whatever, and you want free thing, right? I want free thing so I can do media on free thing. It's like when I would work a TMG booth, there were so many people that would just be like hemming and hawing and just hanging out at the booth, and because they didn't want to actually ask the question, oh, can I get a review copy of this? I mean, it's just like because they're either intimidated by the situation, they don't want to hear no, they don't want to hear whatever, they just don't want to hear any of that. So, but I mean, and Forrest, I'm praising you here. So like I would watch Forrest, and like he would kind of go through, he would do his 5-6 minute video, super energy, and then he'd get done, and then he would just say, so yeah, I'd really like free copies of this. And just like literally like put the onus on the person to have to like say yes or no. And there's so many reviewers out there that they'll be just like, okay, I better just like kind of circle around the booth for like 10-15 minutes, wait for the one person that I want to have see me, and then we can walk over and I can talk, and then here I'm gonna like, hey, how you been? What's going on? And when I would do work at the TMG booth and I knew that that was the reason they were there, I would just say, let's cut to the chase. What do you want? And I would just be like, and then they'd be like, I don't know your channel. How many followers do you have? I would just say, and we'd be like, and then if they would say, oh, well, I got a YouTube channel and I got like 2,500 people. It's like, what's the name of your YouTube channel? Let me pull up my phone. Let me take a look. And I would make it.
You have to drag it out of them.
Yeah, you basically. But Forrest would always be like, it's just like, hey, I just got done doing the video for your thing, and like, what kind of stuff can I get now? What do you think you're gonna give me? And I would always like,
I don't say it like that. Let's not. I give them, if I don't know them, I say this is my subscriber count. I post 3 to 5 videos a week. Is there anything you're interested in having some more media coverage on?
What I'm saying is that Forrest doesn't have any compunction whatsoever of asking anybody. He's not scared at all about the it might be inappropriate or whatever. What happened to Aldi?
I don't know what's going on. I like went dark. I don't know what's going on.
Like, what are you? What are you on? Like,
I don't know. I really don't know what's going on, dude. It went black, and I'm trying to.
My malware's getting you, man.
Oh, now who's Mr. Smart?
I know. Believe me, I'm.
Like, I did not know that you used the camera from the movie A Scanner Darkly.
All right, I got the.
I don't know where it
comes up.
Okay, so
all right, here we go.
All right. Well, I can almost see it. Make him full screen.
Oh,
he
hold on. I almost forget how this works here. Hold on. No.
What the hell happened to my camera?
I know.
What the fuck?
Oh, look.
All right, there's Forrest.
Oh yeah, the camera. Yeah.
All right. Whoa. Wait, what is that?
This computer is
Startup
configured to require a password. Please
Startup
use
password.
Your computer is configured to require.
Oh, it's a startup password. Somehow you've.
So does that happen?
I bet you could turn that off.
It's a normal login screen.
Yeah, well, I never used to do anything. Oh, wow, why am I the only one on here? That's weird. I never used to do anything. I never used to have any passwords at all.
Your computer was set just to go right into Windows. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, but then
I'm like in the dark. I'm in the dark.
Oh my god! Did any of you used to have the Game Boy camera? This reminds me of a picture you take of the Game Boy camera.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I'm gonna have to leave and come back, I guess.
And there's this thing over in the corner that says like Logi.
Oh, that's the camera. That's the camera.
Okay.
Oh Jesus!
What is this? You have a voice modulator, so it's like, when I first informed on the mob.
But actually, now that I think about it, what I did was the next day when I finally got control back, I actually set up my own password too, which hopefully.
Oh, maybe that's. You've got a startup password set up.
Yes, I didn't used to, but now I have the one they gave me, and then I set up my own one, which is.
So, what horrible machine do you have that you're using?
I think I actually might have a sticker on it. I bought it on clearance at Best Buy many years ago. Yeah, I'll peel the sticker off.
What's
That's
that?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Oh no, you're ruining the resale value by peeling the sticker off, though.
I'll come back.
All right, it is an HP AMD quad core A8 Accelera.
Right.
I mean,
So it's one of their like it's just one of their what I'm looking for. It's just a budget machine is what it is. You know,
Yes.
it's probably got a Celeron processor in there and
a budget machine from about 8 years ago.
well, I mean, I think and how much did you spend on that 8 years ago? Do you remember?
$441.99 without a monitor. I had the monitor already.
How do you know that off the top of your head?
It's on the sticker.
Oh, okay. that was that was the clearance price.
Yeah, that was a clearance price.
So, yeah, dude, you should just do a GoFundMe or something for for approximately the same price for $500. I mean, any Aldi or I or anybody could like go to Newegg and put a better computer together for you as long as you have a monitor.
Well, it's not.
I'll get to it eventually.
You
The
just
next big purchase I make
Eventually,
is a
you've
new
been dealing
iPad.
with this for 3 years. What's eventually 3 years from now?
Yeah. I mean, I it is what it is, Lance. It is. No, I got to get a new iPad hopefully in the next year because I'm actually starting to have some major issues with mine, and that's the bread and butter. Like the computer's
What's wrong with your iPad?
I have used it so much in certain spots that the touch screen is having a really hard time reading in certain spots, and it's only cost me 2 videos so far. But if that number jumps any higher, it's you guys know how it is. You shoot a 25-minute video, and you're like, oh fuck, I lost it.
Just the other night, I recorded. I thought I had recorded like 35, 40 minutes of video, and then I realized that I hadn't turned the camera on.
Oh, yep.
And I just went upstairs. I was just staring at it, and I realized what I'd done, and I just got up and I went to bed. I was just like.
And the worst is when you thought you got like the perfect take too, or like you screw up a whole bunch, then you nail that take, and you're like, "That's it, yeah, I'm done." And then, yeah.
There's nothing worse than when you think you're done, and you aren't. Like you're like, oh my god, I can get this game off of my table, and I can just be done with it, and fire and forget, and then like you realize you're not, and it's just there's nothing worse than that. Well, there's lots of worse than that. But
that is the worst in the planet.
Yeah. When you feel like you put something to bed, you're like, and I put it to bed. There we go. I'm done. But no, you're like, ugh.
So Forrest, you use that machine for web browsing, and it's basically a repository for all your pictures of your kids and stuff, right?
Yeah, my wife's the one who's really struggling. She does photography. And so she runs Photoshop on it. We have to make sure we shut every single application down, and then she can only do like 2 pictures at a time. And apparently, a whole bunch. So I'm thinking about maybe next year for her birthday getting her like a laptop or a machine that can do Photoshop better, because she wants to get more into photography. It's not in the budget right now.
Yep.
All right. So here. Oh my god! I know you live on a budget, and I understand that like what have you.
Yep. He needs to get those Yang dollars.
What?
He needs to get that Yang money so he can.
Yeah.
Preach.
but so here's my thoughts. You need to get a like you can buy a fairly cheap external hard drive. I mean, you can get a terabyte external hard drive if you wait and watch Amazon or watch Best Buy, you can get them for like $50-$60.
I got one of those.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. So get one of those for your wife, and then but hook up your thing and transfer every single one of your photos to that. And also, pay Google the $24 a year that it takes to have basically unlimited upload. And then just one night, open up your machine, copy and paste every single picture, and upload it to your Google Drive, and walk away. It'll take all night to do, but you'll upload everything, and then you're done. The stuff is saved forever. Google's not going anywhere. They're going to save all of your information. You'll also have it on the external hard drive as well. So you have your own personal, if you're ever worried about somebody hacking your Google account or something like that, then it's done. You have that stuff, so
double back it up.
Double back it up, yes. And then
just reformat the bitch?
Yes, reformat the whole thing. Just go in.
Now, am I going to need a CD?
You're going to have to get an operating system disk, which
why they put that extra layer there?
Well, you gotta be able to run the computer.
If his brother-in-law has any technical skills, he can just bring over a USB key with Windows 8 or Windows 9 or Windows 10 on it as an install.
He does. He is very tech savvy, so I'm sure.
So he's offered to make us 3 USB keys that I can use to reset machines right here. So the chances are he has one. Oh, you're looking much better, sir.
Oh, I like witness. I like witness protection, Aldi. I enjoy it.
It looked pretty cool, actually.
Blah, 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 blah.
It was a fun
The Gambino family ordered me to.
Now, could I if I didn't want to pay the $24, just borrow my friend's terabyte hard drive, and then just put it on?
Terabyte hard drive is an incidental thing you need to do. You just need to upload all your stuff to a cloud. Now, what I'm thinking you could do is I subscribe to Office 365 Family, and I probably have a couple more family subscriptions. I could just give you one. And then you will have a terabyte of storage online, and you'll have the entire Office suite for free.
Wow.
Oh, dude, I'd appreciate that a lot, man.
Yeah, I think I am. You know, it's like how you can share your Netflix account with like multiple people, and you just create different profiles and stuff like that.
You got Disney Plus?
Sure, I could do that. Let me.
You got Disney Plus, Richard?
I have Disney Plus. Yes.
All right. I got nothing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Forrest, do you have a Gmail account?
I do have Gmail, but and I know Google gives me a lot of storage, but like I have to constantly, like once every couple of months, redig that because it's filled with pictures and videos.
Yeah.
Because I used to shoot all my videos on my phone, and then they stored all that to the cloud, and that took up so much space.
Yeah.
Now, is there an easy way to like just copy and paste everything onto the hard drive?
Well, if you use something like OneDrive, which you chances are you already have installed on your machine, you just have to
Most
log
likely.
into it. You log into it once, you say, here's where my pictures are, and it will just do everything for you. I'm just trying to find where my, let's see, I just need to go to freaking, what is it, Outlook.com. That's what I need to do.
Might be able to play Apex Legends without lagging like crazy every time someone throws a smoke grenade now.
That was so
Oh
funny.
my god, you got so much stuff on your machine.
we dropped the nukes from above, and like you'd be like, dude, I can't even.
I can't see.
The reality is the best thing to do would just be to go down to Costco or Best Buy or something like that and buy a $300 new Windows 10 laptop.
Yep.
But I know $300, I very much doubt, is in the budget.
If it could, do any of the like the cheap laptops run like what is it, Photoshop? Is that?
Oh, sure. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, my wife does a shit ton of Photoshop, and she's just running a. What did we buy from Costco? It was $350. It was a Lenovo S40. It's
Really?
It's not going to be a top end gaming machine, but it does regular day to day stuff, no problems.
Nah, this is just mostly me for my wife and for uploading videos. Because like I said, I do most of my stuff on my iPad now, like browsing and videos and whatnot.
Oh, Forrest.
Yeah.
It's always a new chapter.
I
It's
saw
always a
something
new
that's
chapter.
cryptographic. So there's some kind of crypto thing running on your machine. I don't know what it was.
Cryptographic.
Well, when I saw your process list, it said cryptographic something or other. Like, you might be mining Bitcoin.
Sweet. Get a little money.
No, you're not getting any.
I know. You're saying essentially my computer's an indentured servant?
It could be. It's a zombie. Although if you have CC Cleaner, that should tell you.
Oh, yeah. So I should uninstall that now, you said?
So there was a moment in time where CC Cleaner was hacked and it was compromised, and it was actually during the time one time I installed it to fix a light problem I had on my computer, so my computer got owned. I just pulled the hard drive and wiped it, started over. If you go to If you go to Google Drive, how much does it say you have for free? Like, go to drive.google.com.
I think you get something like 50 gigs for free, don't you? Something like that?
Yeah.
Maybe 100 gigs?
I'm just
Man,
wondering
how do you know that website right off the top of your head? Drive.google.com.
I use it every single day.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I mean, I store everything on it. Oops, don't say that. I don't really have. I don't have a hard drive, really.
Yeah, this is what I have to empty out every once in a while. 11.6 of 15.6 gigs used.
On Google Drive?
Yeah.
What do you have stored there?
I have it set up so all my pictures that I take on my phone go there, I think. No, I don't. I don't know what the hell all this stuff is.
Porn.
It's videos. Oh, yeah,
Porn.
I can probably clear a lot of space. These are videos from Essen.
Okay.
I used to archive all my videos, and then Richard was just like, "Yeah, I just delete everything."
Oh, God. That's amazing to me that you would do that.
Oh yeah, that's what I do.
I know Dice Tower does as well, and they've got so many terabytes of hard drives just sitting in a closet someplace. YouTube is storing all of it, and we'll store it for all time. Why? I mean, I guess if you're worried YouTube's going to go someplace, but that just seems crazy to me. If YouTube dries up,
they almost got shut down, right?
I don't care if all the video gets lost, quite frankly.
They almost got shut down, right?
Forrest,
the Child Protection Act, the COPA.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a Hotmail email address or a Outlook email or?
I don't. I have one through my work, but I don't even know what it is.
Okay. I don't know if I use email address. Type in your Gmail address through the what you call it, the old private.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like, if I loved all my videos on YouTube, it would suck. But
all right, one more screen share from you, Forrest. Open up your task manager and go to the startup tab.
All right.
Let's see what you got. All right, Lance, share a screen for him again.
Well, as soon as I get it.
Wait, it takes me a minute to get it.
I know. I'm just trying to see.
Oh, I timed it too. It was 5 minutes and 30 seconds from the time I shut down the computer to get back into Facebook. And
that's not that bad for a computer.
Mine boots in 10 seconds. Wow, that's
all right.
Well, you have an
SSD. Not a contest.
No, I'm just saying 5 minutes is a really long time, just to compare.
But for a computer that's as old as his, with as many things that he's probably got monkeyed up on there.
All right,
that's
so you
really
said
not
go to
that
Task
bad.
Manager, and then what am I doing?
Startup.
I don't see that.
Is there a startup tab?
Nope. Oh wait, yeah, there is. All right.
When you guys check your email that you just sent me, see if you got an invite from me.
Oh, we'll do in a second.
Yep. I think this is how I invite you. I forget how many family members can I have. Office 365 yearly.
All right, I did. There it is.
Family.
Okay, sort it by status, so we can see what's enabled, what's disabled.
Status.
5. Yeah. So apparently, I can have up to 5 family members. You're a member of my family now, Forrest.
I can't see it now. It's too
sorry.
Oh, there you go.
I appreciate that a lot, Richard. Thank you very much.
Well, I've enjoyed your videos.
You probably don't need any of the HP crap.
Whoa.
I don't even know what all that stuff is.
HP broker?
HP Beats.
What's Beats?
I have no idea. Oh, you have Bing. You have Bing. Whatever. You do have OneDrive. You do have OneDrive enabled, by the way. NetSession_win. I wonder what that is.
I was bored and I wanted to watch something like basically I forget what it was, like a CSI type show, but I was like, oh, this is like some throwaway show on Netflix I can just have on the background. It'll be like you can just keep going, and so I can have something to watch. And it must have been when Bing launched or something, because they said, I just pulled them up on Bing, and it says that
you binged it.
They talked about binging things. Like these 3 episodes, they made a reference to Bing at least 3 times in each episode.
You can disable that net session thing
forever.
Well, if something doesn't work, you can enable it again.
Says it. I did the online search and it said it made a video screen better.
Some malware camouflages itself as net session win.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, I don't know if that's that. You could probably disable iTunes helper.
Oh yeah, I fucking hate iTunes.
And disable all that HP shit. Although it says simple pass. Is that a password thing? I wonder if that's what they put on you, is that password bullshit.
It does say, do you want us to just manually enter your password every time? So that might be it. I don't want to get rid of that.
Just Bing it, said no one ever.
What else you got? Scroll down.
That's it. Not much.
Well,
that's it.
They're hiding it.
Updater startup utility. What is that?
I mean, this isn't a thorough list of everything that runs when his machine starts up, right? I mean, there's
It's
plenty
not
of
everything,
registry
but it's a lot of.
This is just bloatware that's slowing his machine down.
You can disable the Logitech webcam software. Although you use the Logitech thing, right? I don't know if you need that running. Probably not, but.
Well, we'll find out. No, I don't want. I'm not willing to take that risk.
I mean, here's the thing: you can turn these things back on.
Yeah, but I don't remember how to get.
What is that DT startup? Expand that portrait displays thing. It's like at the top.
DT startups.
DT underscore startup. HP my display. Yeah.
That is another HP specific thing.
That's some kind of garbage. Yeah. I
would say
clean
as a whistle. Clean as a whistle, Doc.
Clean as a whistle.
Oh yeah. Disable that. Uninstall that Avast secure browser. You should disable that and uninstall Avast.
Okay.
And you have a problem with Avast? I use
Avast.
Anything else on there?
Do you need the Adobe GC Invoker utility?
I use it pretty frequently.
Well, you use Adobe Cloud. You use
no, I don't know what it is. I just don't want to mess up anything with Photoshop. My wife
I would disable that too. That's fine. Whatever. I mean, I'm just trying to get your system to like.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Like, trust me. Like, if I try to open like 3 more tabs right now on my computer, it would just be done, and I would get kicked off. I get a lot of error messages that says you're using too much of your CPU, just randomly, and then it kicks me off everything. It's a price to pay.
It's always a new chapter with you, Forrest.
Yeah, that's what my wife always says. You're allowed to put up with, dear, but I will never get bored for the rest of my life, and I know
that. Oh crap! Dude.
Where do you live, Forrest? In Arizona or something like that?
Fort Wayne, Indiana, the second largest city in Indiana.
Yeah, I've been there.
Lovely city.
I have been in that room that Forrest is in right now.
We have one of the lowest cost of living in the entire country, top 5.
How's your crime rate?
Good, very good. It's gone down.
It's really high. Thank you.
Only 5 murders this month.
No, it's a very safe city.
Yeah,
I love it. I mean, it's a fantastic little city to raise a family, or just in general. It's big enough that there's stuff to do no matter what, and it's small enough that I don't worry about, my car getting stolen, or if I leave my garage open or something like that.
Fort Wayne, Indiana has a crime rate that is higher than 92% of the state's cities and towns of all sizes.
92%. Yeah, that's not bad.
Higher.
Well, it doesn't feel dangerous. Really?
I just Googled it. I mean, I don't know. Who knows what the realities are?
Richard.
What neighborhood do you live in?
I live right outside of downtown, which I love. So I can walk downtown to like all of our big events and like the baseball games, because we got one of the best minor league baseball teams, or best minor league baseball parks in the country. I could walk to where the Alliance Open House is. Like, I love my location.
So I just did a Google. It says 25 cities where crime is soaring. It hit.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fort Wayne crime.
I'm sorry to have brought that up.
I mean, it was just. I'm just sorry.
Well, look at wait.
Yeah, it's number 22. It's number 22 on the list. Oh, what is all this? Now I get this garbage.
Are you in Fort Wayne, Indiana?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's up. It
says here you're more likely.
5-year violent crime rate is up 33.6%. 2016 violent crime rate is up 300%.
Yeah, we do have a bad part of town, but that's where most of the crime happens, on the south side. I feel
sure whatever
he says all that
whatever page Aldi's looking at, there's probably it breaks it down by.
It was USA Today. I just Googled Fort Wayne, Indiana crime rate. And then I got, of course, all the hits.
I've had 3 negative things happen, like crime wise, to me.
Your computer.
since I've lived here in 33 years. So, and 2 of them were my next door neighbor at the time. So I've never felt in any danger in Fort Wayne personally.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Do you guys all staying home for Christmas?
Yep.
Yep.
No
Well,
travel?
I might travel to go see my niece, but I don't think it's gonna. I think they're actually coming close time because they got to go to Mayo, and so we're gonna do something in town. I think when they come through, so I don't have to drive to Western North Dakota. So,
Michelle's parents are in the Philippines, so this is like our first Christmas on our own, basically, in 15 years.
In the new house.
I know. We're just gonna
Home
sleep.
alone.
We're gonna sleep in.
Kevin McAllister.
yeah.
And Mrs. McAllister. Running around fighting off Joe Pesci.
Since I have to leave my family group, what does this mean?
Are you in a family group already?
If it's through Microsoft, I think I am for Xbox.
Oh, well, that goes. I mean, don't necessarily accept if you don't want to. Basically, I don't remember how much it is a year. I subscribe to Office 365. I'm allowed to have up to 5 family members who have access to the full suite of Microsoft Office, plus, I forget what it is, an hour's worth of free, long distance phone calls off of Skype, plus a terabyte of data storage. So that invite is bringing you into my family, which currently is me and my mother-in-law.
You should make a different email.
Member number 3 of this family.
You had me at your mother-in-law. I'm in.
Yep.
I just left my family. It literally had my wife and kids' name.
Oh no.
Well, I think it's all through Microsoft. I think it's just I disconnected from my Xbox account.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that would. Yeah, maybe it's just a family that was created for your Xbox or something. I don't know.
Well, I'll find out in a second.
Yeah.
Oh, say hi, Chad, if you go. For me.
Yeah. Do you think you're getting any board games for Christmas there, Forrest?
Me? If I do, it'd be from my personal family. My aunt, she'll go to like Ollie's and she'll find some hobby games sometimes and she'll buy me one. But for my wife, no. Like I told her long ago, it's like, don't get me anything board games. I get enough board games as it is. Get me clothes, give me a jersey or socks or whatever. But no.
So you use Photoshop on that computer. Do you have your original Photoshop software discs?
I know that my brother-in-law got my wife Photoshop. So
I see. Okay.
Yeah,
It's
that
all
sort of
subscription now, Richard.
Huh?
It's all subscription now. It's not. There's no discs.
Well, yeah, but I mean, yeah. Now, if you buy,
I guess if you have an old version.
Yeah,
All
Photoshop
right.
2003 still runs fine. I forget what we're on. This was the first year I've ever actually subscribed to software, and it gets under my skin. I do not like it at all.
Yeah.
But I forget what it was. I think we were still running my copy of Office that I got when I was working at Lionhead, and we got bought out by Microsoft. So it was like 2003 or something like that. And it was just getting so problematic that I eventually broke down this year and subscribed. And having basically 5 terabytes isn't bad either. And Jen uses Skype calling all the time. So we're getting our monies out of it. But it just gets under my skin.
Yep. Remember when you used to buy software? You used to have it and own it.
In my day.
So what does this mean now that I'm in your family? Like,
well, I can't see what you're seeing. But in theory, it means. Let's see. Actually, let me update and see if it says you're in my family now. In theory, it means you have access to. Yeah, you are. Look at that. I could remove you.
You can set my screen time limits.
No, I think I added you as an adult, not a child.
Oh, I'm glad you're not Lance.
That would have been I think you've been using enough.
That would have been hilarious.
So in theory, what that means now is, so that's the thing I wasn't quite sure about. Actually, that's weird. You gave me a Gmail address, but now it says you're listed with a Yahoo address.
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
Is Yahoo your Microsoft account?
It is my Microsoft account. That's it. Yeah, because that's my Xbox account. Because I have my Xbox account.
Well, that Yahoo email that I'm seeing now is Forrest Bauer, part of my family. I believe if you log into OneDrive on your computer using that now, because you've probably never done it, OneDrive's just sitting there in the background taking up CPU cycles. If you log in with that, you will be able, actually, it'll search your hard drive and find all your pictures and automatically start uploading them. And you have basically a terabyte of online storage now.
Set up OneDrive.
That would be pretty tough to fill up, even if you were throwing all your video up.
It was running automatically on your, I saw it on your process.
Yeah, I mean, Windows just, unless you tell Windows not to do it, Windows starts it because it's a Microsoft product. So in theory, if you log in with that, you have all the storage in the world you need. Then means anything that's important to you on that computer, you can upload it there. Then you can safely, your brother-in-law can come over with a USB key with a Windows 10 account to reinstall on that machine, and you know what, you won't lose your pictures.
I really appreciate that.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Awesome. The other thing I'm thinking about too, I've been thinking about upgrading my laptop for a while. And if I do, I have a laptop I have no use for. The problem with it is Jen dropped it a year ago and the screen fritzed out. And I was just asking because I was going to look up how much it costs to mail a laptop, an old tire, well, not too old, but a dead screen laptop, because I could wipe it pretty easily and send that to you.
Wait, so the screen doesn't work, or I just plug it into my monitor?
Yeah, I mean, you can just plug a regular monitor into it. It has a regular monitor jack on the side.
Oh.
What is my camera?
Yeah, I definitely pay for the shipping for that if you ever want to get rid of it, man.
Yeah. Well, it's because I've been thinking about doing it for a while. And I can't quite bring myself to pull the trigger, but this mission of mercy can maybe push me over the edge.
Mission of mercy.
Humanity first.
I film everything now with a 4K webcam, and the problem is that laptop cannot deal with 4K video at all, so it just craps out. So I got this high-end webcam for nothing. I might as well just gotten one that costs half the price and just recorded in 1080p. So I've been thinking about getting a better computer that could actually handle the throughput, the bandwidth of it. But I'm just a bit hesitant to, because I'm not quite as cheap as Power, but I'm pretty cheap as well.
Who makes a 4K webcam?
Huh?
Who makes the 4K webcam?
Logitech.
Oh.
Yeah, if you've watched any video I've done for the last 3 or 4 months, they're all done with a Logitech. It's the Brio. And it works great. It's just that on my laptop, it's just incredibly slow and choppy. It just can't deal with it. I bought a powered USB 3 cable, so I know the data is getting to the laptop, and that's not the problem. It's just the laptop can't handle it.
Oh, Forrest.
Sync all files.
Huh. Oh, you're doing it. Okay.
Oh, no, I there's no way I could possibly do it now. It would completely, I would be kicked off in like a second. It doesn't show that there's that much stuff on there. Most of my stuff's on like my desktop. Does that matter?
No, they're all just folders on your machine.
Oh.
Your desktop's just another folder.
Yeah, this is all Greek to me. I can use it, but I learned a little C+ coding, and that's about as far as I ever got with computers.
Well, your brother-in-law can walk you through it too. He's coming over for Christmas, right?
You
can be one of those annoying family members. Everywhere he goes, he's always having to fix everybody's computer, right?
Well, I've already got a PowerPoint lined up for the Yang thing, so that might be pushing it a little bit much.
Wait, you're giving your family a PowerPoint on Yang?
No. But I started a YouTube series that I dive into all of his different policies, and I'm really about 6 in now, and it's I'm learning a lot.
Are you getting any views?
Not much. About 30, 50 right now, but I think that's the kind of thing where if I continue to do it and I get into like 50s and the hundreds, it'll be a different story.
You should message him and say, "Hey, I did this YouTube series on you. Can you retweet
maybe you'll be lucky. His lucky 1,000.
You have any free games for me?
This is my subscriber size.
What's
DJ
what's the
Secretary
name
of
your
Education.
channel?
What was that?
What's the name of your channel?
I think it's Forrest Bauer. It was just a channel that I do some like exploratory videos.
Okay. So you didn't make a new one.
Forrest Bauer.
No, it's not on my board. It's not on Bauer's Game Corner. I don't like to bring too much politics.
No, yeah, it's Y.I. Yang Gang.
Oh yeah, I just changed it today. That's right. It was
You just
Forrest
got a
Bauer.
subscriber.
Forest Bauer, One Headlight by the Wallflowers, also known as Creeper Dylan.
Oh, yeah. That's my idea. Where I just kind of maybe got a little bit in a right state of mind, and then I'd listen to a song and break down the lyrics.
It has
That was just something
it currently has no views.
It was just something I did on a whim. I make
You
these
know what?
videos.
I'm gonna let it's got one view now.
Woo!
Cool.
No, but it is something that I actually like. If he gets into say February, March, April, and I'm still doing because I'm trying to do 2 videos a day.
Did he
'Cause
make
I do it all.
the debate?
Yes,
January.
he is in the debate tomorrow night.
Yes.
Epically poorly timed. Yeah, Democratic
Yeah.
debate on the night that everybody goes to see Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, and the day after the impeachment.
Yes.
Yeah, most
Kind of
people
like
don't watch.
It's like
watch the
I'm
time.
done watching news today, man.
I think most people just watch the clips at the end anyway. Just like what were the big deals?
Bauer's 4th Democratic debate breakdown of every candidate's performance. It has 109 views, baby.
Yeah, I got an Andrew Yang video I think with 500 on there.
Yeah, it does. Doesn't land. Andrew Yang, The Kids Are Not All Right review.
Yeah, that's where I just watch a campaign video and then just say what my thoughts are on it. If I think it hits or not. That one did not hit.
Well, dude, I've always appreciated your passion, and you continue on, and I continue to appreciate your passion. Plus, the fact that you're actually doing the NWA World Championship Wrestling stuff, I appreciate as well. So.
Oh yeah, I think I'm done with that. That's too much damn work.
Yeah.
And it boils down to me having to rewatch it like 2 or 3 times because if you click on that, like I do like video clips and audio clips, and it was just
I'm telling you, Forrest, you and me in 2020, you and I will make it a point to we'll you have the WWE thing, we'll pick a start date. And we'll start watching WCW Nitros. Like when they first started them in like '95, you and I will watch a WCW Nitro. Both they're like the very beginning, they're just an hour. You and I.
Are
will
you talking about like at the same time, like you did with the movies? So
well, yeah, but no. Well, no, I was thinking both of us watch it independently, and then we just take our notes. Like I'll even take the time notes where I'll be like, okay, at 6 minutes in. They had a match between Diamond Dallas Page and Eddie Guerrero or something like that. And then you and I will talk about that match or whatever, or things that we like. And if you go back far enough, it's just absolutely crazy. And, it would be more for us just to have fun talking about wrestling than it would be fair to watch. All right. It's one of the many things I'd like to do in 2020. We'll figure it out. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, we got the WD network. Doesn't sound like it'd be too difficult.
Yeah, and like I said, like at the very beginning, they're hour-long episodes, so you can watch like an episode in like 40 minutes at the very beginning. So, shoot. So, Richard, what do you usually get for Christmas? I mean, I'm assuming you'll spend time with your mother and you'll spend time with your wife.
Jen said years ago to me,
I don't love you anymore. I'm going to spend Christmas with my boyfriend.
In addition to that, she also mentioned in passing, do you even want to do this gift thing anymore? Because this is a real pain in the ass to try and buy gifts for you.
That's what my wife says.
Yep. And I said, no, I don't want to do this at all. I would be very happy to stop. I'm only doing it for you. And she said, okay, let's just stop. And she told her family and she told my family. And so Jen and I have not been gift givers for, God, at least a decade. So there you go.
So why did your wife say, out of curiosity, that you were hard to shop for?
I think I'm really easy, but
See, that's the same thing with me. I tell my wife that all the time. I'm like, anything Broncos, like anything that's related to my sports teams or movies that I like or video games. And she's like, you just buy everything that you want before I get it. And I was like, what do I buy? And she's like, well, you don't want that much either. And I was like, okay, that's fair.
Oh, hey, diehard Broncos fan. So sports ball talk for just a moment or two. So I am, for the third year in a row, I am in the championship game this week for my fantasy football team. And
Auto draft.
no, I draft them. I win with a purpose.
You never know.
And but I've got my bases covered. Dalvin Cook is possibly injured, but I have all the backups for the Minnesota Vikings. So depending upon who plays, I get good. But ever since Roethlisberger was lost for the season in like week 3, like I have just basically been slotting in quarterbacks where I can find them, trying to like figure out. And like I picked up Drew Lock just because I like the matchup against Detroit, because Detroit's horrible and they have nothing to play for. But I mean, at home, so I like the matchup. Do I dare start him in a championship game?
Let me check the weather Sunday. It will be 61 degrees and partly cloudy. I would say yes. Absolutely. Detroit is packed up, and Drew Lock, like he is out there, and he does not want to lose 2 games in a row. He's got that swagger, and after getting his ass beat, I think he's going to come back and really bounce back. I would.
Yeah, because I mean, he had that really good game against Houston.
He did.
But then Kansas City just beat the piss out of him.
Who are your other choices?
Phillip Rivers and Daniel Jones.
Who are the Chargers playing? Raiders, Sunday afternoon. That could be. Let's see, Raiders defense.
Ranked 32nd in the league.
That's promising.
I don't know.
But it's Phillip Rivers, and that guy. I watched him play against the Vikings. I have never seen a quarterback just. I mean, God, I can feel Richard just falling asleep right now. But but I've never seen a guy just give up. Like literally, like just heaving the ball down the field. Didn't care if it was intercepted or not. It was like Phillip Rivers is done.
Aren't they like? Are they not good this year?
No, Chargers are horrible.
Oh.
San Diego Superchargers.
Were they in contention last year?
Yeah, but this year they just had a bunch, which is weird because they have a really good running game, but they just, I don't know. It's just like Phillip Rivers just looks like he
scored 45 on the Jaguars last week.
Who? No, the Chargers played the Vikings last week and got obliterated, like 39-10 or something like that.
2 weeks, yeah. Yeah, 24-17. Played the Chiefs. Oh, wait, what the hell is up with these timings? Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't believe in I just I definitely, if I win, it'd be cool. If not, it's no big deal. Like literally our league has been together almost 10 years and only 3 of us have won the championship. And so like the other 2 guys that won the championship are like, you better win. We got to keep our stranglehold on the trophy, right? You know, but I think if we have 10 straight years of only the 3 of us winning, I think the rest of the league might revolt. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like there's even like they try to say that we cheat, and I'm just like, how do we cheat? You know, it's just like we actually pay attention to what's going on.
That's what it's like in our league. There's 3 guys that have won 7 of the last 10 years. I'm one of the ones that won, and then I stopped caring. So every year at the draft, I do something crazy. Like this year was my team was all white guys. The entire team, running backs, wide receivers, is really, really hard. I was 6-8 though. And then 2 years ago, I took a shot after every pick until like the 10th round, and then I passed out. So I got auto drafted the rest of the draft.
Oh, Jesus.
It was bad news.
Are Vikings going to get iced out of the wild card?
No, the Vikings are pretty much done. I mean, pretty much they got it's sewn up.
Wild card. Okay.
I mean, basically, if the Rams lose a game, they're in. And the Rams have got both San Francisco and Seattle at the end for the next 2 games. They're going to lose one, if not both of those games. The Rams have to win out to get. But here's the deal. And once again, I can hear Richard slipping into a coma.
I'm going and finally reading your thread from earlier. The quickest way to contact a BGG admin.
Yeah.
So I'm not even subscribed to that forum.
And here's the funny part.
Octavian did weigh in.
Okay. We have the ultimate in Board Game Geek admin right here, and he noticed the concern that he had over making sure that he checked on that.
I'm sorry. What? Hello? You're talking to me?
No, I was talking about Scott.
Right. Putting Scott.
People take the piss out of the complaints forum, so I just unsubscribe from it.
So is it really worth anything to go and register a complaint?
Yeah, other people read it.
That guy was perhaps a bit overly anxious, but there's no reason for people just to dismiss him and make fun of him. They all suck.
Yeah.
There's my review of that thread.
I'm still subscribed. Never mind. I thought I was unsubscribed.
Oh, I got something cool in the mail today from Cryptozoic.
Wow.
Yeah, what'd you get?
They sent just as a thank you. It is limited exclusive appreciation edition. Wait, where's the camera? Camera's over here. Of this thing, Mara from Aquaman.
Oh,
why did they?
Really cool.
Limited edition, 198 out of 300. So that was pretty cool.
You could flip that for a new laptop.
Yeah, you could.
What? You think so? It's just
what I used to like when Mayfair would send me the chocolates every year. I like that.
What is it called? Mara?
Mara. It is the holiday exclusive appreciation edition, limited to 300. I was just gonna give it to my 4-year-old now.
Keep it in the box.
I want to play with it, Richard. I want to play with it.
And all the Amber Heard fans will flock to your door. I think it was Amber Heard played her in the movie. I think.
I don't think there's none on eBay. So.
I tried a new game tonight. Expansion, at least.
Oh yeah.
You guys tried the Turmoil expansion for Terraforming Mars?
I have not. I heard negative things though from a few people.
Ooh, what'd you hear? Just out of curiosity.
That it just added complexity where it wasn't needed. It was more fun. Just generally speaking, it was more fun to play the game without it than with it. So
I could see that point of view. I think it's only going to be for hardcore fans. It adds 2 completely different elements to the game. One, which is like a pretty decently sized one, where you now have an area control aspect of the game, and one where you can kind of plan for the future, which the game already needed more planning. But I liked it a lot. I would definitely play with it every time I play with my regular group who I get to that game to the table with. But I could see it. It did drag like an extra 20, 30 minutes into the game too. I could see it being a very divisive expansion.
Have you guys played the app, Terraforming Mars app?
No.
Wait. Isn't it just on Steam, or is it actually out?
No, there's an app now.
What?
Don't get excited.
Oh, damn it!
I mean, you could buy it, but it's super buggy. One of my buddies here has been playing it, and he actually wrote to this customer support. It's so bad.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, because I've been playing. I was playing Civilization 6 on there because they just put the new expansion to it, and that just completely crashes the thing after 50 turns now. So I've been looking for someone to play on my iPad.
It's 8.9.
How much?
It's $8.99.
Yeah, I'll wait until Christmas. Probably go down to like $2-3. Hopefully they'll patch it. That stinks.
Yeah, the loading. There's no save games.
What? It's like that's
Yeah.
such a long game.
I know it's crazy.
How is that? Who made that oversight?
Asmodee? Digital?
Someone. See, when I see something like that, it pisses me off because that was a decision that someone actively made at some point in the process. They're like,
No, you know what that is?
what?
It's outsourcing, and they said they didn't mention the fact that you needed a save game. That's my theory. Don't know.
I like to think there's just one guy who's a giant asshole.
Yeah, like in this when it's 2019 and you don't have a save game in your game for a 2-hour board game.
Ours lasted 4.5 hours tonight. We also had somebody who only played twice or once.
Apparently, a huge patch was released last week, fixed most problems.
Ooh, there's no reviews out on this yet. Hot diggity dog.
Hot diggity.
Take that,
dog.
Tom Vassell. Take that, Richard Lance.
You got an exclusive?
I do a thoughts for the corner segment now, where I finally asked my game, and I don't know why it took me so long to just say, hey, would you guys mind would you be interested in shooting a video? And actually, I convinced my friend Lucy, who does a lot of these to me, so she's going to start doing some videos now. I gave her my old tripod, and she's considering doing her own YouTube show, and I was like, yeah, go for it. I got plenty of pointers and advice.
You don't need the competition.
Oh, she's going to blow up.
Dog.
Like, if she actually does it, and I told her this, because she was like, it'd be cool to get some games, and I was like, oh my God, you are, I mean, she's a black chick. She's a very large-breasted black woman, and she has an amazing personality. I love playing games with her. What?
That's not the way to describe women.
No. But this is going somewhere. No, I'm saying she's going to gain popularity immediately because of these attributes, and then once they see her personality, she has a spectacular personality.
Okay.
Well, now it's weird.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
People click on the video because they see she's a woman who is top heavy and of color, and then they stay and they subscribe because of her personality. That still sounded bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
Political correctness.
Stop talking now.
Lucy is an amazing person, and I think she's fantastic, and I have had her into my house every single week for the last umpteenth years. I have nothing but respect and care for that woman.
Okay.
Just make sure she doesn't get on your Wi-Fi network. Because that thing is filthy.
It's poisoned.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can wrap it up. We've been online
All right.
for a while now. So everybody, good luck at seeing Star Wars before the spoilers. Before it's a road for you.
Tomorrow.
Oh, I'm not going to be able to see until next Saturday. No, I think I don't know. I talked to my mother-in-law.
Yeah, so I mean, good luck. I hope it works out for you. You can avoid the awfulness. I will leave you with the famous quote by Richard Hamm.
Uh-oh.
Spoilers are shitty, and people that do them are fucking assholes.
Says the number one spoiler.
I'm not the number one spoiler.
Oh my God! I was watching you guys last week. You were so trying hard to spoil something. What was it?
What was it?
Wasn't.
I don't know what it was, but it was
Mandalorian?
No, it was something else.
That doesn't really have spoilers.
I had a buddy, and you know what? Yeah, Firefly. You know Firefly, the show, like from like 15 years ago or whatever.
Yes.
And then Firefly had the movie, whatever it was. Serenity.
A very impactful moment that happened in the movie.
Never seen it.
Great movie.
So the impactful moment.
Spoil it.
Which,
Don't spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to say.
There's an impactful moment.
But it's just the impactful moment where I mean, like, and quite honestly, like everybody else had talked about Firefly being like the next level of genius of a show, right? And I had watched it, but I hadn't seen Serenity yet. And the movie had been out for over a year, so I mean, it was just like, but it was just a bunch of people sitting at the table talking about Firefly, talking about whatever, and then my buddy Joel just said, "Can you believe that impactful moment?" and I just looked at him, and I was like, "Really? I haven't seen the movie yet." And he felt like garbage. And honestly, I was like, it's really no big deal. It didn't, because I was not.
Was it spoiled?
Oh, it was totally spoiled. I had no idea.
Yeah.
He didn't say impactful moment.
Yeah.
So and then I was just like,
he said the actual content of said impactful moment.
yeah. Can you believe impactful moment? And I was just kind of looked over and I was like,
saying, can you believe Darth Vader's Luke's father in 1982?
Spoilers.
Sorry.
Yeah. You know, and I was just like, oh, really? I was like, I didn't know that. And he was like, you haven't watched her? I was like, no, I just haven't gotten around to it. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was like, no, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. And like literally like conversation at the table, 10 minutes later, he's like, Lance, I am so sorry. And I was like, you're off the hook. I mean, it's like, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, because that show wasn't that important to me, but I was just kind of like, yeah, I mean, like that. I think that was the requisite amount of remorse or whatever that they had. Like literally, like he sat in his own juices and stewed about how awful he felt about, like, you know. And I was like, all right, yeah.
Well, I mean, it can be like it is. It makes it way different. Like I remember when Walking Dead was in its prime, and sometimes I'd have stuff spoiled, and me and my wife wouldn't be able to watch it until the next night because we download it. And like watching it, it's just not the same because you can't say anything. You know it's coming. It's just, yeah. That is the appropriate amount of concern he had.
What's your thoughts on when you're watching a show with somebody, and like you make it a point to watch that show, and like if they watch the show without you?
Well,
and don't ruin it for you.
Are we talking about on the inside or on the outside? Because that's an important aspect of that question.
Well, like I can remember, like the show True Blood. There's no spoilers involved here. Before there was streaming, before there was anything like that, like the way to watch an entire season was you had to buy the DVDs, right, or get them from Netflix or whatever. And I remember, like, my wife and I really enjoyed watching True Blood, and like season 3 or season 4 came. And it was one of those things where, like, she went ahead on the DVDs without me, and I was like,
trail.
How is like, why is disc 5 in the DVD? And like literally, like, she was hiding it from me, and I was just like, why would you go on without it? And like, you know, and I was just like, and I remember, like, she said something like, I mean, I laugh about it now, but I remember she was like, I was like, I just wish you hadn't seen it. And I was like, well, no wonder, you know, I mean, it's just like, why would you watch it without me? I was just like,
Lance, you're everything.
Yeah. No, I just, it was one of those things where I was like, so, I mean, what's your viewpoint on that? Because I mean, the thing is like, you know, like my wife and I, we watched Game of Thrones together all the time. We never skipped. We always made sure we sat down and watched it together. And you know, and I remember, like, the very last episode of Game of Thrones, I didn't even realize that it actually happened on a day that I was traveling for a convention. I don't even remember what convention it was, but it was like literally, like, I was going to get home that night at like 10 o'clock at night, well after the show had already aired. And like, and she's like, I'm going to have to wait until 10:30 by the time you get home, and then we're going to watch this 2-hour episode of this show. And she's like, I'm going to be like dog ass tired. But I mean, she didn't watch it, right? She said, you know, and she was just like, and I remember, like, I remember getting to the airport, and like actually like just took a cab instead of calling an Uber, so I didn't have to wait like the 7 minutes for the Uber to show up. I had this horrible fear that she was going to watch it without me, but no, she waited. And
you got home, you checked the DVD player.
No, no, it was like one of those things where, you know, we queued it up and watched it. I mean, like, I think there's one of those things where it's like, I mean, yeah, what you don't know won't hurt you, but I mean, I also like know when, like, you can just kind of tell when somebody isn't engaged, and when you're watching it, you know, you're just like, it's because they've seen it already, right?
Yeah.
Or they've like Wikipedia'd the plot and they know what's going to happen. And that's where too, like, there have been times when like I don't see a movie right away, and then like my desire to see that movie like goes away. Like, I'm like, oh well, I guess I'll just wait and I'll watch this one at a time. But then I'll go to like Wikipedia and just read what happens in the movie, just so I can know what the story is. Oh, well, what's this? What was the story in this Liam Neeson movie that everybody's going to forget about in a month anyway?
I do that sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like I do think that once you set a precedent though of you watching a show together, like I think you have to respect that unless you get like the signed acceptance and understanding that you'll watch it without them. I think that's only respectful.
Okay. And on that note,
Yes.
I'm gonna go watch The Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I got
Yep.
and that's another thing. I watched that with my son, and I won't watch it without him because he's just like he is all in on Mandalorian, and I would not cheat him out of that time where he and I hang out on the couch. It's so hard to get him off his iPad usually, but once I was like, it's like new Mandalorian, he's like, he races over, and he just loves the idea of the robot armor. And
I could not even imagine how disappointed my 7-year-old would be.
You're spoiled, Mandalorian.
No, the fact that he looks like a robot. He loves the fact that he looks like a robot and he's got armor on. He just thinks it's so cool. Anyway, you were saying, Forrest?
I'm just trying to imagine how disappointed my son would be if I watched The Mandalorian without him. Like, I'm in the same boat where my 6-year-old is just totally into it. And if I did that, I think that would absolutely devastate him for a little bit.
Wow.
Well, I mean, it's our thing. It's our thing. We watch it with my wife, and she missed the last one because she was like, "Oh, you guys just do it without me." And both me and my son were like, "What?
Yeah. What?"
It's like, "Wow, are you?" And then we tried to tell her, and she's like, "Oh, okay." And it's like, "What?"
No, I get it. But as a very, very smart lady once said that I used to work with her. She'd been married for 10 years, assumed she was never going to have kids, and all of a sudden, like she found out her and her husband were going to have a kid. And I remember asking her, "Or are you going to find out if it's a boy or a girl?" And she said, "Nope." And I said, "Why not?" It's like planning and all stuff. And she said, "There are so few real surprises left in this world. Why would I cheat myself out of this one?" I was like, and ever since she said that, I was like,
that's awesome.
That makes so much sense. Like,
That
I mean,
awesome.
Mona Peterson, I will remember her for the rest of my life because she was just like, there are so few real surprises in this world. Why would I cheat myself out of this one?
I love that.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's true. We live in an age where we are inundated with information technology. And I'll say this. I've had people, when I tell people that, because like for our first child, my daughter, my wife wanted to know the gender of the child, and so we found out. And I said, I'll agree to this, but under the understanding that any children we have after this, we do not find out. And she agreed to those rules. And so like, because I think she thought maybe we wouldn't have any more kids, but then obviously we had my son. So I've had both situations where we went to a gender reveal, and we went to the thing, and they did the sonogram, and they told us the gender, and we knew we were having a girl, which way before she was born, and we had a situation where we had absolutely no idea. And my son came out, and he came out butt first. So I had to have him flip him over so I could see what we got. And I can tell you, and it may just be for me, but everybody's like, "Oh, it's the same thing. The surprise is the same thing." It's nowhere even close to not knowing boy or girl until the moment you see this living, breathing human being. And like, so that's my one take. Now, you do whatever. Whoever's watching this, you do it however you want to handle it. But I can tell you from my experience, finding out whether I was having a son or a daughter at that moment was far more exhilarating than just having some technician with a couple of pads saying it's a girl. Yeah. So there you go.
I agree.
I might do that for the next kid.
Yeah. You knock up your wife again?
No, we're talking about it.
Oh yeah. Well, she's a wonderful. I've met her. She's a wonderful lady.
I think she's 36.
If you pass on that, you could get a laptop.
Yeah, but I mean, she's 36. The window's closing, and I mean, I've worked my entire life with kids. I love kids.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Well, that's like the other line too, where it's like if you wait until you have enough money to have children, you never will have them. So
Yeah.
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 they are you. But anyway, all right. And I'll say this. Christmas is so much cooler with
Oh,
children.
it is fucking gonna be off the goddamn chain this year.
There is nothing as cool as your entire living room covered in gift wrap and children just like bouncing off the walls with excitement.
We've been buying since January. That's how we do it. We'll be watching those clearance racks all the time and just bam, $4 here. Regular price 17.
You're an amazing parent, Forrest. I don't think I tell you that enough. You are
That's right. Right back at you, partner.
All right, brother. All right, so everybody, 99% sure we won't have an episode next week, but we will definitely have one New Year's Day. New Year's Day we will have one, and that will be the full-on Rise of the Skywalker. And we will not discuss Rise of the Skywalker without Richard Ham. He has to be here. So I'll be interested to see if Abrams played it safe and disappointed Richard, or maybe. What's your prediction, Aldi? Do you think me and Richard will both be equally pleased with the movie, or diametrically opposed? If those are your two choices.
Yeah, will this be a Last Jedi situation or Solo situation?
I think Richard will. I mean, I'm so prepared for it to be a dog. Like, I think Richard will be happy, and Lance, you will be disappointed.
Okay.
And you will be cursing Star Wars for yet another 2 years, which you have seemed to have forgotten. How many fucking hours did we spend going over that goddamn movie and how bad it was?
It's so awful.
It's going to be
so bad.
the worst. It's going to be the worst ending for a sci-fi series ever. Probably worse than Battlestar.
Worse than what?
Battlestar Galactica. That was a bad ending.
Worse than
Matrix 3 is going to be hard to be worse than, because that was really stupid.
I remember actually saying out loud at Matrix 3, we get it. It's Jesus Christ, okay?
Oh, I mean,
stop.
You kill a main character in a car crash. Kidding me.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, whatever.
I just remember spoiler, the end of Matrix where Neo is actually being crucified by the things and being floated up into the heavens. I was just like, we get it. We get the God allegory.
Aren't they going to reboot that? Maybe they have. Maybe it can be redeemed.
It's not a reboot. It's a continuation, actually.
Oh no!
Yes.
No.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Which is having a continuation?
No.
Matrix. So there will be a Matrix 4. Will be a continuation of the story.
Oh,
Richard's going to be happy.
Wait, they're continuing the story?
Matrix 4, it's in pre-production. Who knows if it'll ever happen? I think
Jobby.
one of the Wachowskis is involved, but it's largely new crew, and I think Michael J. White might be the lead instead of. I'm not quite sure. I hadn't looked that closely, but that's my understanding of it.
I saw that it was coming out the same day as John Wick 3, which I thought was really odd. I can't imagine that's going to stay put.
John Wick 4, because John Wick 3 already came out.
Oh yeah, John Wick 4, because those two would cannibalize off each other, like
unless it's the same movie.
Oh.
And John Wick is
Wick
in the Matrix.
It's in the Matrix. And when
They rebooted Matrix after the whole thing had to be reset up, which is why it's no longer green hues.
That'd be so amazing.
That'd be incredible.
Yep.
Speaking of which, Richard, did you see we got Donald Glover today in the Yang game?
Yes, that was. Yeah,
that's huge.
I had to immediately go watch This Is America again, which I've probably watched a dozen times.
A good video.
That's fantastic. Yeah, David Chappelle.
Yeah, he hasn't come out yet and said it, but yeah, he said it at shows.
Oh, Kabuki Kid, and also those crossover with the new Bill and Ted. So Bill and Ted is John Wick. It's
Theo, John Wick, and Bill.
Yeah.
Ted.
Ted. Theodore Logan.
Johnny Utah. And I can't think of his name from Speed.
Yeah.
I want to say Jake, but I don't know.
Ted, did he say it was Ted Theodore Logan? Was that what he said?
Theodore Logan.
Ted Theodore Logan.
The third.
And then and Bill S. Preston Esquire.
Esquire. We are wild stallions.
Wild with two Y's.
Oh my god! It's amazing how Keanu has rebooted himself.
Yeah.
After a string of complete shit.
Or no Johnny Mnemonic fans in the house?
Johnny Mnemonic wasn't even that horrible.
Oh, it's terrible.
I like Johnny. You know what? I haven't watched.
Read the original story and go back and then watch the movie. It's just the worst.
Okay, I'm sorry to keep everybody up, but what was his bad movies?
Dolphin.
I don't have anything in particular. I remember that I didn't like in him.
Well, I'm sure plenty of people didn't like Constantine.
I loved Constantine. Yeah. I love the whole fact when he's floating up to God and he flicks off the devil. That was great.
Great spoiler.
Oh, whatever. It's like a freaking 20-year-old movie.
Tell like the most key scenes of everything. Your life is like spoilers. Like
how is that? Okay, there has to be a like what is it? 3 years? 3-year window.
That's Lance.
Not to mention, that's such a throwaway part of the movie too.
I kind of remember Keanu's was going downhill. I don't know what.
Yeah, but Scanner Darkly was not just a good movie, and there were a lot of people in there.
The Matrix movies sucked. The last,
okay, I will fully agree that the Matrix 2 and 3 were bad.
Still,
that was not good. Constantine
37 Ronin.
Which one?
37 Scanner Darkly. God, that movie is so fucked up. Anybody ever seen that?
Yeah. We were just talking about it.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, Point Break is a classic.
Wait, you didn't like A Scanner Darkly?
No.
It was just slow. It just didn't. The source material was not made for a movie.
He doesn't really have. It looks like he just kind of took a pretty big lapse and did some low key stuff.
The Lake House.
Yeah, I didn't see 47 Ronin. I would like that.
It's not good.
Yeah, but I still like him.
Between Two Ferns is the movie.
That's terrible.
That is.
Oh,
just skip to the interviews and don't watch the movie part.
Oh no,
it's really bad.
I love Between Two Ferns. It's so disappointing.
Just watch the interviews. The interviews are great.
Yeah, the interviews are good, but yeah, the stuff in between is
terrible.
Just why even bother?
Is it structured like an actual movie with a story, or
movie? It's a story.
You and I. This is going to sound dumb, but I am absolutely so annoyed that I love the fact that Norm Macdonald's show is on Netflix. I love that, but I am so annoyed that his original like the Norm Macdonald his YouTube channel is gone because the interviews that he did on the YouTube channel are so good, and it's not that they're like yeah I mean, it was like it's not that they were like they were bad or whatever. It was just one of those things where it was Netflix owns the rights to them because they bought up the thing, and so I don't know. I want them to replay those. I mean, they're like really, really good. Like the interview he has with Larry King, it's like almost an hour and a half, and it's just really, really good. Talking to Larry and Larry just going over his life and talking about what inspires him and stuff. It was just they were good stuff, and it was not him. Like they're making jokes and stuff, but I mean, it's really good. I'm annoyed by that. I wish I could find like somebody who downloaded them and get them on a DVD or something. But,
Lance, I hate to tell you this. You've gone so long. Kabuki Kid has left
the building.
Good.
Wow.
I'm glad.
The Kabuki Kid.
We outlasted the Kabuki.
Yeah, if you don't have Kabuki Kid, you don't have a live stream. So I think we got to shut down.
I just think that she's got to be like just a ghost in the machine at this point. I mean, she's not even a real person. She's just like
she's a Russian bot.
Yeah, she's just hardwired into the internet or something.
She's Johnny Mnemonic.
There you go. All right. I'll see everybody in the new year, I
With
guess.
16
technically.
gigabytes of storage in her head, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was not that much. I forget what it was. It was
know.
not a lot.
Yeah, it was a relatively
500
small
megabytes.
amount, and they're like, "Yeah, I got rid of most of my childhood, so I could do this."
All right, bye everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for showing up, Albie.
Yeah, thanks for having